hear that.
Good Friday evening, metallurgists. Hope you're doing well. I'm Marty. This is Heavy Metallurgy. That over there is Alan. How you doing, Alan?
I'm doing okay. I survived another week, so
you did it. Congratulations.
I did, and everybody who wants something else can wait till Monday.
take a number. Yeah.
Indeed. How you doing, Marty?
I'm doing good. Busy week. Thanks everybody that has taken part in the pre-order sale of the new Panopticon 12-inch single, which is coming March 27th. 2-song single, just like the old days. There's only 20 some left in the shop here for the US. So if you want it, you might want to get on it. So
they're going fast.
Austin will be getting some, but he's not putting them up until after, I don't know, until he gets them, I guess. So whatever on that. But yeah, thanks. And the new Weft, the Weft also reissue is at the plant, and pre-orders for the second pressing is up now, and just got confirmation from the plant today. People that pre-ordered the CDs of the Nemeris and the Weft, they're finally coming from the plant. So next week I'll be shipping out much awaited pre-orders. People have been very patient. Thank you so much for all of that. But anyway, it doesn't matter at this point. Right now, Ed from Ed's Den of Metal, welcome to Heavy Metallurgy. It's good to have you on, brother.
Hey. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm glad to be here.
Fellow Michigander, less than about 40 minutes from my front door. So it's nice to have someone local, sort of. And
yeah.
How long you been doing Ed's Den of Metal? And
actually, the channel's pretty new. It started up last year, in the spring of last year. I just decided to start doing it. I'd been on a few streams around before that, and visited a fellow VCer in Chicago last March, hooked up down there for the Dream Theater show, and he's been a big encouragement trying to get me to get going on this and everything. So seems to be doing well. Some of the couple videos have gone crazy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you have an amazing collection and a wealth of knowledge. So it's nice to have more people in the community.
You fit in really well around here.
You fit in right along with other old farts that have a pile of stuff. You're kind of just doing collection updates and stuff, and also mention some of the streams you're on. I know you are involved in a couple as well. The one in Chicago.
Where Vance is in Chicago, and the stream it's usually Sundays and Tuesdays. I don't always do both days, but the PB Thal stream.
Okay, right on.
Tuesdays generally become a little more metal than the others. The Friday night one generally is the non-metal, non-rock stuff.
Oh, gotcha. Right
That's
on.
where you hang out in the chat here. So
yeah.
So.
Well, it's good to see you and glad to have you in the community for sure. And everybody, there's a link to Ed's channel in the description. Go check it out. Let's give him a little metallurgy bump and subs. Yeah, exactly, Frosty. The wall of vinyl. It's impressive, and all the stuff he pulls out, I'm like, oh, there's some thrash gems I would love to get. I'm gonna sneak over there one of these days and dig through his basement. It's gonna be great. That sounded a little dirty, but I assure everybody it'll be PG-13.
Yeah, if Jeff shows up tonight, this one right here, I grabbed that one for him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was talking about that one in the hair metal.
Right on.
Yeah. Marty, looks like you're starting to run even lower on the Panopticons there. Thanks, Lee.
Right on. Thanks, Lee. Well, tonight we decided I think all of us just kind of needed an easy couple of weeks of homework. So here we are. And it's been a minute since we've done a What's Spinning episode. So, Alan, good call on that one for sure. And I got I don't have a huge pile here, so might not be the longest episode ever, but it's good to.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I also figured, it's always a good topic for, bringing on guests for their first time, let folks get a really good feel for what kind of stuff they're into. So yeah, worked well on several levels.
Yeah.
And Black Label Society 1972. Hey, we've got a review for that coming up here, hopefully this weekend. So probably Sunday. So keep an eye out for that. And a lot of new people here. Ed must be bringing them from his channel. Consider subscribing. We're busy over here quite often. Stream twice a week. There's reviews, occasional interview, all sorts of cool stuff happening. So if you're new here, stick around. It'd be good to have you as part of the community for sure. But Ed, I think we're going to start with you. We'll just do one at a time and go around in a circle until our stacks are diminished. And
diminish, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm going to start with the one that's in the CD player. It's been in here for a couple days, and it was there when you suggested the idea, and that is, I'll try to get that right.
Yeah. Okay.
Little Nevermore.
Little hubbub going around now with the new members announced and that little rehearsal that Ola England shot, and they sound good.
Yeah, Dreaming Neon Black. This thing sounds good. This wasn't it's an earlier one. Of course, now the lighting isn't good in here. I'm trying to see what year this one is. It's one I found in a shop and just said, "Hey, I'll grab that." So Century Media. Excellent sounding record.
Yeah.
So,
you're obviously a fan. What do you think about the band continuing on without the voice?
That's a weird thing because usually I'm not a big fan of that because he was the band, I thought, but one of his main guys there, I don't see a problem with it, I guess. I think, what is it? Was Tim there all along? Loomis obviously was.
Mm-hmm. Loomis has been there. The drummer, I think, too.
Yeah.
What is his name? Van
Williams. Yeah. But
and then somebody from Sanctuary, the bass player from Sanctuary, I believe, was involved in Nevermore since the beginning. He wasn't invited back. So
yeah,
I think that caused a little bit of a hair ruffling.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, I love Sanctuary back in the day. Very, very good. So
Sanctuary's continuing as well.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here Ryan or Marty. Yeah, Jim Shepard was the guy that didn't get the invite back.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, Van and Jeff are the originals. Okay.
What do you think about that, Alan? I mean, obviously you're a Sanctuary. I think you're more of a Sanctuary fan than you are a Nevermore fan, but what do you think about that?
I mean, it's always tough when you've got to replace a person who's a key part of the sound. I don't know if Worrell was one of the main songwriters or not. If not, they can certainly continue on, in that capacity. But yeah, he had such a distinct voice that you're getting stuck in kind of a catch-22. If you get somebody that sounds a lot like him, everyone's just going to complain that, oh, you've just got a Worrell Dane clone, but he's not as good as the real thing. But yeah, if they go out and get somebody who is completely different, then everybody would constantly be complaining that it doesn't sound the same. So it's a really tough one. There's always that knee-jerk reaction from some folks to say, why not just start with a different name, make it into a different project if you want to do that. That's easy to say and hard to do. I mean, these bands have
the brand's established.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of currency in that brand. You say that Nevermore's putting out a new album, people get excited. You say, Whiskey Dick Clusterfuck is putting out an album featuring members of Nevermore, and it's hard to gain much traction there.
Yeah.
I got stuck for a band name, and there we ended up.
There we go. Yeah.
And it could be record labels pushing the name too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yes, I'm sure that is part of it too. If you're approaching labels looking to get a deal, and they're like, "So you going by Nevermore, or are you going with that other name you floated? Because we'd be interested if." Oh yeah, I'm sure it's definitely
Nuclear Blast.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm okay with it. I've obviously it's a smart move to keep the name because people are either going to love it or they're going to hate it, but either way they're going to all flock to hear it the first time out the gate. So, but Ola put up that rehearsal video, that re-announcing the band type thing, and the guy from Turkey they have singing for them sounds really good. He sounds Worrell-esque. He's going to prove in these live shows and on this video that he can mimic Worrell Dane singing already predetermined vocal lines. Where the rubber meets the road is when they decide to do a full-length album, a new one, and he's on his own coming up with his own shit. Is he going to be able to carry on the spirit of Worrell Dane, or if he's going to try to do something a bit different? So I don't know. I think I'm fine with it. I understand why they're doing it as Nevermore. Everybody's like, they shouldn't. Well, should or shouldn't. It's a bad business idea to, come up with Whiskey Dick Clusterfuck featuring Jeff Loomis. That makes, he's done projects all over the, before as well. And I'm sure they do well, but it's not going to be Nevermore level well. So I think that, they said the same thing when Jeff Hanneman died. Slayer should stop. Really? Slayer has been an institution since these guys were teenagers. You think they're just going to be like, well, time to throw our brand in the garbage and start off with the Kerry King band, which is what has happened. And I think it's dumb.
They're going to say, wait, that is what happened.
Exactly. It's exactly what happened. And it's dumb because, you just should have continued on as Slayer or change it to Killer King or come up with a better name than Kerry King. But I don't know. It's a slippery slope. I think these guys are beholden to their brand no matter what happens.
Yep.
And you can't, in a band environment, it's rare to see original members stay or survive or whatever, for the long haul. Oh, this is a long tangent. Sorry. I'm just curious. It's kind of like current events. I thought we maybe touched.
No, it was a good one.
Started it.
Yeah. Good thing to follow up on.
Right.
All right. Alan, you're up next. What you been spinning over in the professor's lair?
Oh, well, let's see. One thing I've been spinning is this. This was something I kind of wanted to review towards the end of 2025, but there was never a good window of time to do it. And it was a little hard getting a physical copy at first. It's a black metal band called Malakim. The album is titled "And In Our Hearts the Devil Sings." It's an Iron Bonehead release.
Oh, Alan's been cult as shit this year, everybody. Cult as shit. He must be pissed off down there.
It's been a year. Yeah, it's been a good season for listening to black metal. But yeah, no, this features Andres Nielsen from Naglfar and Ancient Wisdom. So there's a little bit of veteran clout in the band for sure. It's just really, really solid, scathing Swedish black metal. Yeah, it's in that general. It's not a dissection clone. That would be a really poor way to try to describe it. But much stronger than something like Watain. Watain's okay, but I think this band's got a lot better songwriting than Watain typically does. So yeah, it's not fancy. There's no progressive or weirdness to it at all. It's just very fast, blazing black metal Scandinavian style. The only knock on the album really is that the production feels like it's kind of brick-walled. This is that extremely loud and extremely in your face from the time you hit play till the time it ends. So after a while, it can start to numb you a little bit. It's like, okay, and here's another one that just blasts away, followed by yet another one that blasts very loudly. But it's not an overly long album, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. I just wish they had used some more dynamics in the production. I think this is a band that's talented enough to make really good use of dynamics in their music and add some really cool moods and atmospheres here and there. It's a newer project. It might make sense that they just want to make a statement out of the gate, but there's more potential here. They could definitely do something that incorporates more variations and still deliver a really good punch to it. So yeah, Malakim's And In Our Hearts the Devil Sings. Cool black metal. It came out on Halloween in 2025. So again, it really wasn't circulating until November And by that time, folks are just not paying a lot of attention to new releases as the year wraps up. But that one's done pretty well. I checked out a few times, have circled back to it a few times. It's solid. They just need to work on the production a little bit so it's not quite so redlined on everything.
All right. Well, I've been all over the place musically, and I'm not even going to get into some of the weird tangents I've gotten into. So it's going to be a little bit of a smattering of everything, but we're going to start off with the debut album by the much labored over and late debut album by UK's Hell with Human Remains. This is the sad story of a new wave of British heavy metal band that with a main songwriter that poured his heart into his music only to get kind of a raw end of the deal and see his dream shattered when it came to signing a record deal back in the day. Poured a lot of money and time and blood, sweat, and tears into this material. The label folded. He lost money, all sorts of stuff. Ended up choosing to not be around. We'll just say that in case we get dinged. Years later, the remaining band get together. Don't they do some like tribute type shows or something, Alan? And then producer Andy Sneap gets involved and says,
"Yep,
this guy was my guitar teacher and friend. I was young and watching you guys rehearse. Let's dust off these old tracks and start playing them, and let's finish it up." The icing on the cake was the singer they got. I cannot remember his name off the top of my head.
I do not know.
Fantastic singer. Holy shit. Kind of like King Diamond, but way more theatrical. He doesn't just live in the falsetto. He can go there. He is a theater guy. So he is, you see the stuff online that they posted of being their live shows. He's all dressed up in the garb and the stilts with the furry pants. Looks like a giant goat guy. And the visuals match the theatric nature of his voice. Really brings this material to life. And considering that a lot of this was born in the new wave of British heavy metal era, I've always considered, I'm not as skilled or well-versed in the genre as Alan or a bunch of other people that visit this channel, but there's a lot of rock influence coming into new wave of British heavy metal. This here, polished up, it sounds like modern day. It doesn't sound like a bunch of old rock metal tunes. It sounds like, modern day metal, a modern day take on heavy metal with a very charismatic and brilliant singer. So I was always pretty impressed by this band. Finally got their second and final record here last year, late to that as well. And it's fantastic. And we did a big album club discussion on that album as well. So go check that out. But man, this is a band that really impressed the shit out of me. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Oh, here's the singer's name for you, Marty.
David Bauer. Marty. Thanks a bunch, Alex. What do you guys think about the Hell stuff?
Not one that I'm aware of, but I wrote that one down here to check out.
They got 2 albums. Both of them are exceptional.
Yeah, I've never spent much time with the albums. My issue with that band was always back in their original run in the UK, they only released one 7-inch single, and it's a really weird single. I've always been told that it was the tracks included on the 7-inch were not very representative of what the band did. They're both just kind of strange. As I recall, they're also extremely short tracks, like 2.5 minutes or something. So there's very little music on it, and it's really hard to pin down what they're trying to do on it. It's always had a good reputation among collectors because of the band's their reputation and what they did. They apparently had great live shows, and I guess there was some bootleg stuff that floated around. So people who knew the band beyond the single were always nuts about them. But for someone like me who was just like, well, I've heard the single, and the single's no thank you, it's not for me. I never really got into the band because that initial contact with them was really strange.
Okay.
Right on. Well, I'll keep my eyes open for those too. Those might end up showing up in your mailbox one of these days. Ed.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing, if I stumbled into it, I'd pick it up out of curiosity. I just haven't ever really come across one cheap.
I'd be surprised if you didn't like them. It's really good stuff. Really solid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have heard a few other tracks here and there. I think somebody sent me some of their old demos. Actually, I'll have to look and see if I still have them here on the hard drive. And I do remember it being like, oh, okay, yeah, now this is a bit better, but I never spent any time with it. So, yeah, never tracked back around. I'll look and see if I still have that stuff while we go through the next run here.
Yeah, definitely something I'm going to check out. So,
yeah.
So, all right. Well, here's one that I picked up, finally found an original copy of. I'd been looking for a while. I had the original CD, but never had the vinyl. This
Classic.
guy here finally found the original, found it for a really good price. It showed up one day on my want list, and the guy had 2 of them listed, and I'm like, all right, that sounds really cheap. I clicked on it and asked questions later, and it's thing is mint. So,
oh, nice
artwork, beautiful on this compared to the reissue that's now in the for sale pile. But yeah, the reissue was horribly done. But this 1988 Bay Area thrash metal, just at its best. Unfortunately, they didn't have a whole lot of albums. They did this one. There was one right after this. Then they kind of... Was there 4 before they disappeared?
Yep.
And the 5th one finally came around in 2010.
Yep.
And I guess they're working with a new singer on a new one as we speak. So
they're in the studio.
Yep. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see a new one here from them within the year.
I have not heard a single note off of Green or Distortion. I have not heard any of it. Not even a second of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've never checked them out either.
Yeah. Omega Wave, I liked that one. That was a good thrash album.
Yep.
Green, I forget the order, if Green or Distortion was first, but the first of those 2, I bought it, but I didn't care for it.
Heard they went a bit groovy, which I'm like,
yeah.
Nope, not interested.
Didn't do it. So.
Yeah, that's what Rick's saying here too. Oh, and Total Metal Underground says they had 5 albums total.
Yeah.
So
this one, and the one after this was Twisted into Form. That was really good as well.
Classic. Yeah. Love that album. Yep. Amazing guitar playing.
Yes. And drums.
And singer. Oh my God, Russ was a beast. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So. All right, Alan.
All right. Well, I'll wander outside, or at least adjacent to the heavy metal sideline for a minute. This artist has gotten some definitely hype in the past year or so because he was in a band that showed a lot of promise, but fell apart early due to member tragically, not... How are we wording it, Marty? Not being intact anymore or something. But they have recently reformed. They've been doing some festivals and stuff and getting a really good reaction. But this is his solo project, and he hadn't done a solo album in forever either. It's the Dax Riggs album, 7 Songs for Spiders. That came out, I think, at the very beginning of 2025, maybe the end of 2024. I forgot to check. I've always liked Dax's voice. You know, it was one of the key things that made Acid Bath stand out a lot in the mid and late 90s. And then, of course, after Acid Bath ended, he made an album with a project called Agents of Oblivion that was kind of like the mellower side of Acid Bath, especially like the second Acid Bath, Pagan Terrorism Tactics. It still had some very hard-hitting songs, but it also had some songs that were really leaning into the trippier side, and that's where I always thought Dax really excelled. So Agents of Oblivion was a really good follow-up project for him. It let him kind of hone in on that side, but it only lasted for an album. Well, he also did some solo stuff. He worked with a project for a few years that had the name Dead Boy and the Elephant Men. So that's a thing. And I shit you not, going through the local store a few years ago, they actually had a CD divider for Dead Boy and the Elephant Men. I have the picture to prove it because I couldn't believe him. Just like they not only had a copy, they actually bothered to make a CD divider for it. I like this store. I will come back here. But yeah, Dax had kind of dropped off the radar about at least a decade or so ago, probably longer than that. folks that just had no idea what he was doing. His last album had not gone over particularly well, as I recall. I may be getting his chronology, I get a little bit mixed up, but he made one album where it was just like him and a drummer, and it kept getting like comparisons to like a watered down version of White Stripes, and it came out like kind of in the wake of their popularity. So yeah, but 7 Songs for Spiders is really good. It's kind of, back to other stuff he did on earlier solo albums. Songs are very catchy. It's got all of his trademark, just very unique weirdness in the lyrical themes. His voice hasn't aged a bit. He still sounds magnificent. I held off a little while on getting this because I was worried that maybe it wouldn't live up to personal expectations. But Jeff Wagner and some other folks had recommended, it's like, no, man, it sounds fabulous. You got to check it out. So I did. And yeah, it's one of, if not the best projects albums he's put out since Agents of Oblivion. So yeah, Dax Riggs still doing good stuff and also getting some more renown and success with Acid Bath's return to form too.
All right. Let me see here. Where are we going next? This is one I have not listened to in a long time. Dusted it off and was reminded how good this record is. This is, if you like Sentence during the Amok Love and Death era, after Jarva left the band, he started another band called the Black League. This is the debut full-length Icor, I believe is how you pronounce that. And 13 songs, still very much in the metal, but gothic in the realm of Carl McCoy from Fields of the Nephilim vocal style, but with a bit of a metal power to it. Jarva just had a perfect voice for that style. And I think, this Black League material just shows that he wasn't ready to be done with that stylistic direction that Sentence took. And I wonder if that's maybe why he was no longer in the band. I know he went on to be quite a renowned Finnish tattoo artist. So maybe just he got busy having his own business and, wanted to continue on with what Amok started. But
that's a good question, Marty. I don't remember really ever hearing a reason.
I don't know if I did either, to be honest with you. I know he was really using Impaled Nazarene and some other stuff too. So, I mean, musically, that scene is so they're all in each other's stuff throughout the years. There's just so many bands, but yeah, this is a one that was worth dusting off, and I still prefer Amok. I've just got such a cool record, and this is a great continuation of it. I think it's a bit more complex, but I dig it a lot. I know there was an EP as well, but I don't know if this band continued after that. That's all I really ever heard was this in the EP. So check out the Black League. This is Icor, Ichor, and it's really good if you like that Carl McCoy dreariness and gothic kind of caterwauling singing style. It's fantastic.
Yep, that's a cool one. I haven't thought of it in a while. I once mistakenly in a record store may have thought that, Black Label Society, that's Tarva's new project, isn't it? might have been a little disappointed when I realized what I'd done.
Yeah. All right. Ed, what you got?
Well, this is kind of a weird one, and
Headhunter. Is that Schmear's band? Or am I thinking?
Peter Tanner, Manny Maurer, Greg Bluell, and Beat Kaufmel. This is produced by Chris Von Rohr. This was kind of an odd one. Jürgen sent me this in a box. It was just one that he stuck in there. They're a one-off band out of Switzerland, 1985.
Right on.
Have it? Yeah. I mean, does it have a crocus sound to it? Yeah. A little bit. Yeah. But just a good old heavy metal. Just kind of a weird one. I've never heard of it. he sent it over, and I was listening to it, and 1985, Switzerland. They haven't done anything else. I think they are Headhunter 11 on Discogs.
Okay.
So
yeah, I've heard I think I've seen the cover, but I don't know a thing about it. So that's
Aaron,
cool.
have you ever seen this one?
Aaron says he's been tempted but never bid on it.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
all right. Well, I had the wrong Headhunter. Schmier was in a band called Headhunter as well after he left Destruction. So
honest mistake.
Honest mistake. All right. Good one.
Yep.
Alan.
Let's see. All right. This band, this is a pretty cool project. I don't know a ton about them, but they seem like an act that should be getting a little more attention. It's a California band called Mephitis. Cover art's a little hard to see. It's kind of darkly printed, but it's mainly two guys. Apparently they were around earlier in the 2000s and the band kind of fell apart, and then these two got it back together. It's blackened death metal, but very unique sounding. It's not some kind of like really raging, thrashing thing at all. They both do a lot of guitar work on it, and reading different reviews and stuff about it, apparently like all the riffs are really written for two guitar parts, so you get like a lot of counterpoint. They're playing off of each other a lot in the album. The vocal delivery is that kind of raspy sound that could lean into black metal, could lean into maybe a slightly more melodic death metal. The songs are really, really well put together. They don't follow a very typical verse chorus kind of structure. You've got to kind of pay attention to what they're doing. They're not super proggy or anything either, though. They're not going in really weird tangents. They just have a really unique way of writing metal that straddles that black and death metal line without sounding like all the other bands that do so. And the end result, is quite good. They've made 3 albums. This one's the first one. I think it's 2019. Their most recent was on Profound Lore in 2024. So they've changed labels. The Profound Lore, of course, gets them some visibility. Haven't heard of anything else, but it seems like 2026 could be a good time to follow it up. I've heard the 2024 release. It was also really good. I haven't heard the one in between. So album number 2, I just haven't got around to checking out yet. But if you'd like an interesting blend of black and death metal with really interesting guitar parts, the best thing I can think to compare it to a little bit is maybe sort of there is an At the Gates vibe, like from like the first 2 or so albums. It's not quite as rollicking or anything as At the Gates could be, and it's not as obtuse either. But you'll definitely hear some comparisons to At the Gates when you get into like the songwriting category. So Mephitis. This album's called Ember Dawn. Stumbled into it through just looking through reviews and stuff. I think I probably found it over on the Hate Meditations blog. That guy Shelley's always got like a lot of really interesting takes on bands that you don't hear other people talk about. But one I would definitely highly recommend if folks want a really good band with a unique sound that know what they're doing and not just blatantly trying to ape lots of other bands.
All right. Well, I've been curious about this. Some of the shit I might have shown on the album club. We always do a few what's been spinning to start the show, but I have somehow, this has evaded my radar. I've always heard of this band, never checked them out. Alan said that, yep, you should check that out. It's up your alley. And I finally picked up Christian Death's Only Theater of Pain. And first listen, little underwhelmed. It sounded to me like a band, an American band. I'm assuming they're American. They sound American. Are they American? I'm assuming they are.
Yes.
Yeah, they're LA
band.
LA band.
Yeah.
It sounded like a band that was influenced heavily by Bauhaus, but the singer wasn't Peter Murphy, and The music was it was kind of in the Daniel Ash guitar sound style, where it's a lot of reverb, kind of abrasive riffing style, repetitive abrasive riffing. They seem like an underground version of Bauhaus, but about 3 listens into this, it clicked and I love it. I think they call this death rock. I was thinking this was goth rock, but this is more along the lines of death rock. It's just very despondent.
Very fair, yeah.
The way Roz Williams is singing is just kind of almost like he's in a trance. I don't know. It's kind of addictive, and it's really been fitting the mood I've been in lately. And my buddy Mike Seatown was saying that I should check out the Ashes album as well. So he's a Roz Team Roz. So, but yeah, only Theater of Pain. This has been a nice little change in my hemisphere here for sure. So thanks for the recommendation on that, Alan. I do enjoy it.
You're very welcome. Yeah, I thought that one would click.
Yep.
And yeah, Ashes would be I don't know what tons of their catalog, but if you like that one, it makes sense to go to Ashes next for sure.
And I see, looking around online, that Season of Mist of all labels reissued Ashes on vinyl and CD. And I've been seeing that people are bitching about it, how brick-walled the mastering is, and it ruins the album. You know that age-old argument that everybody has about that type of stuff. But
yeah.
All right, Ed, what you got?
Well, good old Artillery from Denmark.
Great.
This is a band that I discovered them back in the, 86, 87. I've got the originals, but recently MOV, Music on Vinyl out of Holland, has reissued. So far, they've done 3 of these. So very good reissues out there for a Danish thrash band. Not so sure this is some of the best art work on the planet, but what are you going to do? You got to come up with something. It doesn't. Yeah.
That's a great record. Absolutely.
Yeah. Definitely some really, really good thrash, early thrash. These guys are still around, kicking, still doing stuff.
I wouldn't really say they're thrash anymore. They're just kind of like good modern metal. The one album I've heard that's past that seemed to be less thrashy and just a little bit more modern. Would you agree?
Yeah, but I still think of them as a thrash band because the stuff can get pretty heavy. The vocalist definitely has a thrashy sound. They're going into, I think they're in the studio right now working on an EP. So
right on.
Because it's been I think since 10 came out. They're not with Metal Blade anymore, but I think it's been 5 years.
Wow. So, life after Metal Blade. Hello, Nuclear Blast.
No, it's a weird label. I forget. There's a couple new startups there in Germany too. So I think they're on one of those.
Oh, right on.
So
yeah, no, they're a great band. All the early albums are really solid. And CBN just mentioned By Inheritance is still a classic there in Denmark. Now, By Inheritance, that's got a really cool album cover.
That's a cool album cover, yeah.
Yeah, that one's great. I like the cover too. There's at least one other that has a pretty good cover, but I'm forgetting which. But you're right, Marty. They have definitely changed their sound a bit on the more recent Metal Blade stuff.
See, I've always had the tape of that, and it doesn't do it justice. The LP is the way to get that one. Yeah.
Though the original has the red lettering across the top, but then on the Music on Vinyl, they did the bone lettering.
I wonder why they did that.
Huh.
Yeah. The OG doesn't have that.
That's weird.
Yeah, really weird, really weird. But definitely they sound good, but
Yeah.
There you go.
Great band. Yep.
1990. So
time flies when you're having fun. Helen.
Yep. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to grab an Artillery artifact off the shelf. I'll be back in like 2 seconds.
I'll go ahead. Oh, he unplugged. We'll wait for him. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, but
That's all right.
All right.
Yeah, no, it is really cool pull. Made me think about this, and I hadn't pulled it out in a while. There was a box set for CDs that came out on Artillery. It's probably close to 20 years ago now, which is depressing. But yeah, you've got the 3 early ones, and then if I remember, I think this is like the first one where they'd been on hiatus. It's very called
1998. That one came out.
Oh, okay, great, thank you, Ed. So yeah, Back, BACK. But yeah, it's a nice little box set. The discs, it's the gold plated discs. Some people really love those things. Don't know if it'll, there we go, kind of shows up a little bit. But yeah, this was something I got whichever year it came out in. When I got a little bit of money back on tax returns, like, okay, pay a couple of bills. I had like $50 left, and I had seen this online. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to use the last $50 and order that Artillery CD set because it always looked really cool, and I'm always glad I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
I almost traded it away at one point too, but it kind of fell through at the last minute, and I'm glad it did. It was I'd be kicking myself if I'd let it go.
Yeah, I don't have early CDs. I've got Back on CD, but I don't have the others.
Yeah, I've had some of them on other pressings, but when I got the box set, I traded the other ones because I'm like, yeah, this is a nice compact collection, so yeah. I'll keep these and let the other ones go.
Yeah.
All right.
Alrighty. So yeah, I picked this up a while back, and I've heard parts of this band's catalog here and there over the years. Had never got around to hearing their very first album, and turns out it's actually quite good by their standards. It's Marduk's Dark Endless. I got on board with this band with Opus Nocturne. So album 3, I worked back and got Those of the Unlight really early on. And I have no idea why I just never worked backwards and checked out Dark Endless as well. I heard the demo, of course. Everyone's heard that. But yeah, this one, it definitely has a little bit more of a death metal influenced sound. It's still in their DNA at this point. It's not a death metal album. I know some people try to say it's their death metal album. It's like, nah, I think it's still okay calling this black metal, but it does have sort of a heavier, deeper, darker tone than what Marduk came to be known for over the next couple of albums, where they really did embrace that early Scandinavian black metal ethos. But yeah, I actually like the sound on this one. Just it's distinct. The songs have that kind of slightly doomy vibe to them, which is something I tend to gravitate towards with extreme metal bands. When death metal bands slow down and get heavier, I sit up and pay more attention. I will do the same with black metal bands, but you don't hear it in black metal quite as much. So it was interesting hearing Dark Endless go in that direction. I was like, oh, well, hell, I should have checked that out a long time ago because that's actually quite good in their catalog. Not a band, again, that I've kept up with a ton over the years. You get to a certain point and you just feel like, probably got enough Marduk. Don't need any more of those. But yeah, I found this one used cheap. And so I was like, yeah, I'll give it a chance since I'd never heard it. It is a digipack. I was just showing the booklet because this reissue series just was like black covers with the logo embossed. They look kind of nice, but I would much rather have the artwork on the cover, of course. But yeah, that now officially completes all explorations I need to do of early Marduk. And that one I'll keep on the shelf. I do like that one.
All right. Norway. We're going to go with the debut EP by Tartaros, The Grand Psychotic Castle. This is a soul visionary Sharman Grimlock. He ended up with this project putting out a full-length album after this called The Red Jewel. This is very much... well, Emperor ended up getting this guy to play keyboards for them live during the Anthems era. And the music, the black metal here is very Emperor-esque, but not as good, in my opinion. The keyboards are very horrorphonic. There's a bit of a vampire. I mean, you look at the picture here, there's like a romantic vampire type of thing going on. And it's a different kind of weird atmosphere. And I was digging through looking for something for Metallurgy to pull, and I came across both of the CDs. I'm like, shit, it's been 1,000 years since I've spun this. I don't know if it really has held up that well for me, but it has been interesting to listen to it again. It's cool that they were in the Norwegian scene and doing something that was in line with what was going on there, but he had his own flavor that, like I said, the keyboards sound almost like Hammer horror type soundtrack, scary type stuff. And it's don't know what to think about it. I liked it when it came out. I don't know if it holds up for me, but it's been cool to revisit, refamiliarize yourself with your collection. We talk about that, and it's been going around, and how time is precious and why we keep buying all this shit when we've got a wall of stuff that we don't ever listen to. So it's kind of fun to rediscover your shit every once in a while. So I've been doing less buying and trying to do more refamiliarizing myself for sure.
Same here.
Yep.
Hey, well, this guy here has been on my turntable since when did this come out? September, October?
Yeah, something like that.
Sounds about, it was September, I think.
Blew me away. Do I remember these guys from 1987, 1988? Yes. But they weren't really on my radar at the time. Recently,
they were all over my radar at the time.
Were they? Yeah. But they really weren't for me. It wasn't a band in my circles. Floga Records in Greece, I think, recently reissued 3 of them. And I did pick those up. And I haven't listened to them yet. I just got them in. But this thing here, the first time I heard this, I was driving downstate and I was streaming it. And I listened to it 3 times in a row. How they could come back after 32, 33 years with something this good is beyond me. So they look old too.
Yep, they do.
Shit happens, yeah. Yep.
So, and
I got to say, I'm really glad that. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think 2 of the guys are original, I believe.
Yeah. Yep. They changed drummers.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that they're getting such widespread love for that record. And they really, if anything, that record did right the wrongs of the album Grin. I hate that record. That record sounds like crap. It's groovy. I thought this was going to be Grin Part 2, the way they talked about it. And it's not. It's actually sufficiently dark. It isn't like the first 3 albums, that's for sure. But it's really solid record. I end up enjoying it. I don't love it like everybody does, but I do. I bought it on CD, and I'm happy to have it on the shelf for sure.
Yeah. Yep. It became hard to find.
Really?
And it disappeared almost right away after it came out. I don't know if they didn't do that many copies here in the States or not.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page as you, Marty, with it. I think it's pretty good. But yeah, some folks really disliked it. A lot of folks really loved it. And I fell somewhere in the middle where, yeah, it's decent. It just didn't blow me away as much as other folks did. But I'm glad you really got into it, Ed. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Yeah, and you're right. It was really cool that they could come back. Yeah, and while it may not have, blew my mind, it was good to see them come back and deliver a very solid album, not wander off or try to sound like something, completely different or anything.
All right. Good pull. Alan is up next.
All right. This was a very random buy. This was a blind buy, flipping through used CDs. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but it looks interesting enough to rob me of $8. And so it did. And it worked out pretty well. It's a early death metal band from Mexico called Mortuary. That one's called Blackened Images. Again, I had no idea what I was getting other than just looking at, a quick look on Metal Archives. It's like, okay, Mortuary, there's 37 mortuaries. It's not that one. It's not that one. It's not that one. Oh, okay, here it is. Like Mexico, death metal. I think it's 1990 release. So I'm like, sure, take my money. Not a bad release. It's a relatively short album and very rooted in thrash. So it's got that feel for those very early death metal kind of wave of bands where they're basically, you could tell they were listening to thrash, they love thrash, and they were just trying to push it a bit heavier, faster, a bit more intense, a little more over the top. That was a huge thing for everyone through the 80s and into the early 90s. Who could be the fastest? Who could be the most extreme? So, yeah, these guys had obviously been raised on a very solid thrash metal diet and then figured, hey, we could do that, but even more crazy. So, yeah, if you like that, very early death metal, I'm thinking of stuff like, the first Cannibal Corpse album where you still hear a really strong thrash underpinning to it. This one's definitely worth checking out. I'm not going to claim it's the greatest thing since Sliced Bread or Scream Bloody Gore or anything, but a cool album. The band's listed as active, and it seems like they did something much, much later. I was also surprised this thing has been repressed a zillion times. There's a lot of different reissues of it, which, okay, there's somebody out there, that connects with this. There's an audience for this album because there are many, many different versions of it that have come out over the years. But yeah, sometimes you buy the cool looking thing and it works out just fine for you. That one's a good example of it. Mortuary's Blackened Images.
Okay.
All righty. Let's see. Oh, looks like we have lost the Marty for the moment, but that is okay. We can work around that. We'll skip Marty for a moment, and Ed, we'll let you go ahead and...
I'm back.
You're back.
Okay. Just in time.
I just wanted to grab an original off the shelf.
Oh, okay.
Just got to one-up me there, don't you?
Hole drilled through the UPC, so this was a promo back in. It seems like I got this at Camelot back in the day in the dollar bin. I don't remember, but
okay.
Cutouts, gotta love them.
Yep. Jail America. All right. Again, a tangent here. Youth Code, the new one, the new EP, Yours with Malice. 2-piece industrial band, couple, lady screamer. She has kind of a hardcore style of screaming, which actually suits this really well. She's very aggressive. She's never really clean singing at all. It's always harsh screaming, but the music is really well done industrial. You can tell the guy listened to a bit of Skinny Puppy along the way. A little bit of that influence mixed in there for sure, especially on the last album. But this here, it's just a short 5-song EP. It's quite good. A lot of stuff going on. Good synth textures, good synth sounds, solid song structure, and her voice really is a nice touch. Really ups the aggression factor a bit. And they play out quite a bit too. You can see them on a big stage at a festival or in like some basement show tearing it up. So it's pretty cool. Good stuff. I enjoy Youth Code. Again, I enjoy industrial electronic type music. So that's been definitely sprinkled into this playlist here the last little bit. Ed.
All right. Going back a little more old school, but mid-90s. Skyclad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God, I don't know the last time I listened to that. It's sitting on a shelf, and that's...
Yeah, well, this is a comp. I've got a couple of the album, actually 4 or 5 of the albums, but I found this guy here. It's a, 77-minute comp, 17 songs on it, and it really does give a pretty good rundown of their career. A lot of weird stuff on here. When listening to a violin fiddle player on a folk metal record, weird, but it just rhymes good. Vocals are fairly good. The guitars are nice and raw. My cat's going crazy because she wants my pen. So, but yeah, excellent overview of their career up to that point in 1996 with the Noise Records. After this, they went on to I think it was Irrational Anthems, which was on Massacre, I think, at the time.
Don't know.
But yeah. So
I just recently, they played the 70,000 Tons of Metal cruise here a month ago. I just watched part of their set that someone filmed. It is not the same band. It's not.
No.
It seemed like a bunch of old guys just kind of doing old guy music. It was like, whoa. Didn't recognize any of the songs, and it was not very. It was very lifeless. I felt kind of bad for them.
Yeah. And I think he said two of the guys are from Satan.
That is correct. Yes. Yep. All right, Alan. I got one more thing to grab. I'll be right back.
Oh, no worries. Let's see here. Ended up picking up this. I passed on it when it came out. It's the Crypt Sermon EP that came out last year. The title Saturnian somethings. Saturnian Appendices. There we go. This was an EP. It felt like Dark Descent kind of was, wanting to get something to follow up on the success of their album from the previous year. That album obviously did a lot to help them sort of break through to a bigger audience. It was on tons of end-of-year lists. And so then, 2025, you get this EP. I didn't pick it up right away. Everywhere I was seeing it, it was kind of expensive. It's just 4 songs. The 4th song's a cover song. So it was one of those questions of like, how much do I really want to pay for 3 more Crypt Sermon songs and a cover? Don't know about that. But a local store surprisingly ended up getting some in stock not too long ago, maybe right around the holidays, just after the holidays. And I was like, okay, since it's here in front of me, I'll buy it. It's the kind of thing, I wasn't going to order and pay shipping and everything on top of it. But like, since I'm standing here holding it, I'll pick it up. And man, this is really, really good. All the tracks on here are quite good. The first one, let's see, don't print black on red backgrounds, people.
Yeah.
No. Don't do that. You can't read a bloody thing. But first track, Only Ash and Dust. Very strong song, very much in their idiom. You get halfway through the song and just all of a sudden they really crank up the speed and intensity. They've got great guitarists as it is, but they absolutely just take off right in the middle of that song. It's fantastic. It feels a lot like, classic Candlemass, which of course is something Crypt Sermon's pretty good at doing. The second track, Fool to Believe, also really channels that kind of energy really nicely. It feels like a song that would have really fit on Stygian Rose, except it's better than at least half the tracks on Stygian Rose, maybe better than more than half the tracks. It's a really killer tune. Let's see. Third, you've got Lachrymose. Good song. It's probably my least favorite of the 3, but it's still solid. The kind of oddity, I said the 4th song was a cover. Anybody remember what cover is on the end of this? I'm sure someone in the chat's already said it. The band tackles, for their choice of cover, De Mysteriis Dom Satanas by Mayhem. This was one of those things when I saw him, like, wait, what? I'm not sure I need this EP. If that's 3 songs and them trying to do a black metal song, seemed like a really goofy choice. I gotta say, they do a fantastic job of turning that into an epic doom metal song. They really do. The vocalist does a great job with all the Latin phrasing and everything. I was really surprised when first time I heard. I was like, whoa, they actually pulled that off and made the song their own. It doesn't sound cheesy, doesn't sound contrived. I mean, they obviously had to restructure it a bit to fit their particular style, and it's really, really nicely done. So yeah, it ends up rounding out a excellent EP. Glad I picked it up. It was one of those things that just didn't interest me at first, even though I liked the band a ton. I just felt like I could probably pass on this release. No, if you are in that same mentality and you're like, yeah, I'll just wait till they get another album out. Maybe there'll be bonus tracks. No, this is definitely worth picking up. Excellent EP. It's granted, it's an EP, so it's a little unfair to compare it to albums, but song for song, it's as good as any of the albums they've put out. The band is definitely at a peak between this and the previous two albums. Yeah, they are absolutely in the zone. Fantastic EP from Trip Sermon. Cheers to them.
All right. Well, oddly enough, I was flipping through some old promo things. One of my boxes got completely ruined in the great flood of 2025, and I had to throw it in the garbage, but I had another box. And the two releases from Vondor popped up. The full length is Stridzi Verliesing, and this is the Galactic Rock and Roll Empire. Love that cover.
Looks like Motley Crue, Vince Neil.
Yep, except it's got it and all from Ophthalmia. They're the members of this band, and because they reissued it on vinyl and with a demo, I had to get that as well down the road at some point when I hated money. And why buy such an elaborate LP on something so silly? This is a Swedish project. Ophthalmia, I'm a big fan of that. This is just silly. It's Drum Machine. They're trying to take an electronic route at times. There's some keyboard stuff on here, but it's still very much just raw black metal with All's vocals are just very raw and, traditional black metal style. On this Galactic Rock and Roll Empire, they cover where is it? Rock and Rolla by Judas Priest, Red Hot by Motley Crue. And is there another one on here? You Don't Move Me, I Don't Give a Fuck. I think that is a Bathory song. And there's some other, originals on here as well. But this was just kind of a silly project. Awesome cover. I think they got sued on this and they had to change the cover in later releases. But yeah, if for something that isn't at all serious, it's just kind of cold and calculating because of the drum machine, and there's just some weird, silly tangents. And obviously, you look at this, you can tell they're not very serious about this. It was just I think a funsy project, but very weird, very strange. Check out Vondor. Rest in peace, it. Ed.
Drum Machines. I'm going to grab this one because
that album's great, man. That made my year-end list. Yeah.
It's great. Awesome. Just phenomenal. I mean, it's a one-man guy. Charlie Steinhauer doing everything on here. Not like the earlier stuff, but just excellent heavy metal stuff. High Roller, of course.
It's got the old spirit, the first few albums, I think, on that album. It's great.
I haven't heard anything between the first two and this one here.
Me either. Yep, me either.
Yeah. I think it was Jürgen that told me this was really, really good. Yeah, it's got a drum machine, but it sounds really, really good.
You can't tell really. Well, you can tell, but he does a really good job with it, I think.
I can't tell, but I don't know what to listen for with the drum machine. So, but yeah, this is one. If no one's heard this one, it's definitely one to check out. Very good. This was in my top 10 last year. So,
all right, good pick.
Nice. Yep. Yeah, I don't come across their records much, and one did turn up not long ago. I was like, ooh, I'll buy that. And they wanted like $40 for it or something. Like, I'll just put that back down carefully. Apparently it's made of something very rare and valuable. And I'll just leave it here for someone else to enjoy. At that price tag, no.
Enjoy, yeah.
Okay, let's see. Here's an album I circled back to. This was a big deal. I think this came out in 23. And I did not get into it at the time. but I circled back and I figured it out. It's the most recent album from Horrendous, Ontological Mysterium. Horrendous is one of those bands that kind of helped drive along old school death metal over the past 15 years or so, but they're also one of those bands that have really started moving into more progressive directions over the past few albums. They usually get mentioned alongside like Blood Incantation and Tomb Mold for being at that proggier edge of the scene, and that's fine. I've enjoyed a lot of the Horrendous stuff. I did start feeling like with the album before this one, though, that maybe they were getting a little too off kilter for me. And then when this one came out, I checked it out a few times and had kind of the same reaction. Like, yeah, I just feel like Horrendous maybe is going in a direction I'm not fully on board with. But it was one of those, like, maybe I'm just in the wrong mood for it. Yeah, circle back to it sometime. Found it on sale. I was having to order something else for my kid, and it was one of those deals like, add $9 to your cart and get free shipping. And like, well, if I can find a CD that's $9, I'll get this free shipping. And this was on sale for $9. I'm like, well, I guess this is the time I have to revisit it then. I'd rather pay $9 and get a Horrendous album I may not like than pay the $8.50 of shipping for his toy. But this time the album really did click. I sat down, gave it some really close listens, paid a lot of attention to it. I'm like, oh, okay, this is actually quite good. The knock on Horrendous from some folks seemed to be that they feel they just sort of bolt on the progressive elements, that they're not necessarily incorporated into the death metal sound. I'm not sure I completely agree with that. Yeah, there are times that they do shift lanes from metal towards something proggier. The shifts are not as drastic as some other bands, though. So I feel like they are incorporating the different influences better than some acts do. And I mean, Horrendous, has just gradually drifted towards having a lot more cleaner guitar stuff included, things that feel more rooted in traditional metal. It wasn't an overnight change, and they do that pretty consistently. So yeah, with some extra time, giving it a chance to sit, come back to it, the Horrendous album it's fine. It's good. Just I needed some more time. You have to do that with albums sometimes. For whatever reason, that album would not click the first few spins. A year or two later, you come back to it and it's just like, now I get it and now I enjoy it.
Buzzing has stopped, everybody. It was weird. Your vocals got like mechanical for a minute. It was strange, but
oh, okay. I don't know. Might be a weird connection thing.
It's better.
Sounds like a droid.
The droid.
Sorry about that.
All right. Well, over at the Discord server, Metallurgy Discord server is running all week long, folks. Link in the description. They were talking ill about this band. I get it. But I started sharing some clips of songs I like, and they're like, wow, this sounds better than I remember it. And that would be To the End by Orden Ogan. I love this record. I like this band a lot. This is, I think, by far their best. But yeah, this is just... I've talked about it on here a lot. We did an album club on it, so I'm not going to go too crazy. Yeah, I'm not going to go too crazy, but it is, the modern style of European power metal. These guys are Germans, and they do it well. There's obviously a bit of a melodic Swedish death metal vibe on some of the riffing here, which gives it kind of gives it a little bit of power, a little bit of bite. I think they were calling it metalcore influence with there's a couple songs with a 7-string guitar, and it reminds me more of Hypocrisy than that. So I don't know. I shared some links to some songs I liked, and people were like, oh, I'm gonna need to listen to this album again because it sounds better than I thought it was. Hey, Springfield U6M, thanks for the super chat. We appreciate you. Thank you. But yeah, as far as the German power metal stuff goes, this is a favorite. I like everything I've heard by these guys. I've got a handful of their CDs, all good, but this is exceptional. This is my favorite by far. To the End.
I haven't played much of their stuff, but I thought that one was pretty good when y'all did the album club on it. I'm like, yeah, this is it's better than a lot of the current generation of power.
It's heavier.
Bands.
It's like I said, there's some down tune, heavier, chuggy stuff on there, but the choruses are undeniable sing along. I mean, that's the Germans get it right. They just know what's up. Okay.
Well, let's head to Spain. Dark Moor.
Oh yeah.
I figured you would know this one. You know the band, I take it?
Yeah, I had their first 2 or 3 albums back in the day. It's been a long time since I heard them because they had a female vocalist. I had that one.
Yeah.
They had the female vocalist and then they switched to a male vocalist about the 3rd or 4th album.
Yeah, this one is 2005, Beyond the Sea. An official Russian pressing, believe it or not. But
is there such a thing? Is there such a thing?
Yeah, I mean, Discog shows it as an official release.
That's neat.
Yeah, I don't know. I forget where I came across this thing, but definitely it's a very fast drumming, but very symphonic European power metal. And I liked these guys too. I have this one laying here. This is in the pile. I haven't listened to it in a while, but I think this is their 3rd one, 2001, Gates of Oblivion.
2nd or 3rd, yeah.
2nd or 3rd, yeah.
It's been a long time since I dug through your discography. That one I know still has the female vocalist on it.
Yeah, and this one doesn't. This one does not.
Yeah, by 2005 they would have switched.
Yeah. But even with those female vocals, it's not as distinct as, say, Nightwish was in the beginning there with the female. You could tell it's female, but right? CD trades with Putin, right?
Yeah. No, that's a good point, Ed. Yeah, she was not going for the kind of pretty Beauty and the Beast vocal. She had a much gruffer kind of vocal or voice in her vocals. So that's a good thing to mention to folks.
Yeah. But definitely some good stuff. The band it's hard to find these. I've got 3 or 4 of them, but they're very difficult to find. I don't know why, but good stuff if you like that European power metal. So very melodic. So
thanks, Lee.
Yeah. Thank you, Lee. Yeah, I'm guessing they just haven't been reissued in a long time. But yeah, I've noticed that too. Some of those early ones have gotten kind of pricey, and assuming you can find them.
Yeah, the other ones I have are Japanese releases. I don't know. I don't know if those even had a U.S. release.
I'll bet some of them didn't, because the band never really got over. I know it kind of split the fan base when they changed vocalists for a while. I had a couple with the male singer. I did prefer the original vocalist. I thought just the songwriting seemed a little better, because they did kind of streamline their sound a little bit, at least on 1 or 2 albums. But maybe if they went back to the symphonics eventually, it sounds like.
Yeah. If you haven't heard that one, check it out, because that one definitely has a lot of the symphonic.
Okay. Yeah. That's something that, I think they kind of dropped that when they moved to the male vocalist, which probably wasn't a good idea to make 2 changes at the same time.
Yeah.
All right, Alan.
All right. Let's see. Another EP. Apparently I've had a few of these lately. This just hadn't come off the shelf, but it was kind of linked to a video that popped up on another channel folks were talking about last week and made me want to listen to it again. It is the Frozen Soul demo, Encased in Ice. This was their first demo, I think it's 2019, from Maggot Stomp. This band, of course, ended up taking off a bit. They've been on Century Media, put out a couple of albums, so they've been successful, and that's fine. Good for them. Frozen Soul, of course, have also always been tagged as just a modern bolt thrower. Bolt thrower clone, bolt thrower this, bolt thrower that. Bolts, but colder. And it came up a bit in the video that I'm blanking on the guy's name. Is it Andrew Lee?
Yep.
Andrew Lee, the guy from Rip to
From
Shreds.
Rip to Shreds, yeah.
Yes. A week or so ago, he did a video about old school death metal. It looks a little clickbaity. The title is something like, you've been lied to. Old school death metal is not real. But I did watch it. His stuff is sometimes interesting. I don't watch all his stuff. And he actually makes a very good case. It's an interesting argument. He approaches it from a standpoint of a French philosopher. But the take-home message is that a lot of the stuff that we refer to these days as, oh, that's old school death metal, if you stop and really pay attention to it, it doesn't necessarily sound like bands sounded in the latest 80s, early 90s. We've just kind of come up with this vague definition of what counts and what doesn't count. Yeah, his point with Frozen Soul was, people will say, oh, just sounds like Bolt Thrower. And his point then was, which Bolt Thrower album are you talking about? Bolt Thrower albums don't all sound alike. It's something that even Bolt Thrower fans are bad to sort of shortcut. In Battle There Is No Law doesn't sound like anything else in the rest of the Bolt Thrower catalog. You get into the later Metal Blade albums, they do have a little bit of a different sound to them. Realms of Chaos, it's a transitional album from the earlier crust punk influenced stuff to the more straightforward death metal stuff. So his point is, how can you say it just sounds like Bolt Thrower without saying which era of Bolt Thrower? But there's the point that we just lump all this stuff into old school death metal. That's awesome. Without really ever being very specific. So it's an interesting video worth listening through. He's not trashing new bands in it whatsoever. He's not saying that, oh, these guys suck or anything like that. Just making the point that when we do that and say like, oh, this thing sounds exactly like this older thing, a lot of times we're not really remembering what the old thing sounds like so well. And you see this happen with other genres too. Watching it, the first thing I thought of was, yeah, people do this with black metal all the time. Oh, that sounds like, classic Norwegian black metal. Does it? Does it really? Which band are we talking about? Darkthrone? Burzum? Mayhem? Emperor? None of them sound alike. So if you're saying it sounds like old Norwegian black metal, I don't really know what it sounds like. But collectively, the community kind of has it in their head that all of that early Norwegian black metal sounds and looks exactly like Transylvanian Hunger, end of story. When that's not really what most of it looked or sounded like. So yeah, interesting video and a long way of getting back around to saying I revisited the Frozen Soul demo. It's not bad. I think the biggest Bolt Thrower comparison is in the vocal delivery, not as much in all of the music. And it is just the first demo, so it's still a bit rough around the edges, but it was fun to take it back out and give it another spin for the first time in a few years. So yeah, that's Frozen Soul, and a roundabout way of saying the Andrew Lee video is interesting if folks were curious about it, but didn't click on it because it did look like it might be a little bit trolly or something. It doesn't come across that way when you watch it.
Pulling more stuff off the shelf. Everybody, the professor has given his sick little monkey a vacation. This is unprecedented.
We're snowed in, man.
It's unprecedented.
Just got a bunk for a while.
The mail still comes. You don't need to be out and about to buy stuff.
Shh, you'll wake the monkey.
Yeah. All right. Well, I am still, since our Sodom quest, trying to get all the Sodom stuff I'm missing, and Till Death Do Us Unite finally arrived in my mailbox, covering up the booby there. And this is probably towards the end of my favorites list, but it's still a really good record. I remember going through this, listening to it for the first time when we did the stream or preparing for the dive we did. And Hazy Shade of Winter comes on the cover, which I know it from the Bangles, but I know it from
Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah, Simon and Garfunkel. Is either way a very strange cover to plunk right in the center of your album. But you know what? This is one of the few dives we've done where I'm coming out the other side continuing to listen to the band we covered. Usually when we go through an extensive catalog like that, I am taking quite a lengthy break from that band. This one, I was quite surprised at how good Sodom was throughout their entire career. Every album's a little bit different from the one before it. None of it's bad. There isn't like a turd. There is not a single turd in their catalog, which is amazing. And there might be some that are better than others, but the songwriting is always very solid. Whether I used to think that all the album depends on how Tom is singing. I like the snarled, raspy, vocals that he did early on. Well, he still kind of does, even when he's doing punk shouting, it's still good. And I don't know, I'm enamored by the band. It's been nice. Of the big German four, they were always the one that I loved the early few albums, but kind of lost touch with over the years. And I'm paying the price now because this shit, even on CD, isn't bargain prices. It just isn't. But yep, we're getting there. We're picking away slowly at the pile. And if you're new to Sodom, I don't know if I would start with Till Death Do Us Unite, but can't go wrong. If it's sitting in a rack, you're not going to go wrong with any Sodom, really. So,
right.
Yeah. There are some eras. That is another band where it's easy to think like, oh, they sound like Sodom, but they do change their sound across their spectrum, which is one thing I think that makes their catalog really durable. Like you, Marty, I was really impressed with all the albums I had never checked out.
Right.
But they never got in a rut of just making the same album or similar albums 3, 4, 5 times in a row. They would make one or two that were punky. Then they would shift back to something much more sort of, dirty, raw thrash sounding. Then they would release something that was more cleaned up thrash sounding. So they always kind of kept things moving, and that helps the discography a ton.
Thanks, Wade, for the super chat. You rule, sir.
Wade.
Thank you so much. All right, Ed, you're back.
And on the note of Sodom, Get What You Deserve just got released out of Germany. I should have that record here within a week or so too.
Awesome. Yep.
Darcy and I ordered that. I think Noise. It's a Noise reissue from Noise.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they're keeping the cover, the gruesome one on the inside too. So, but changing it a little bit where now it looks like they're peeling the face off. So.
It's cool. The cover, the re-envisioned cover is cool.
Yeah.
For the new cover art, I should say.
Yeah. So again, thanks to a previous chat with Jurgen on the band, getting back into them, getting some of the reissues, the deep dive that you guys did, and I watched that entirely through, and I've been slowly picking them up as well.
Yep.
And you and I talked about this one, Marty.
Yep. In fact, it was in my vehicle when we hung out. It was like, I was driving around with that one. Yep.
Yeah, and
really
I had just got the vinyl of this. Finally, got myself a black vinyl, and I mean, I love this artwork.
It's cool.
This album is actually in my opinion, one of the better ones. Just excellent. I can't say enough about the artwork. And the guys in there too. So.
Yep.
And,
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that whole thing goes right across, and that's they tend to have done that with a lot of their more recent ones. So,
thanks, Billy, for the super chat, man. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I'd agree on all counts with that one. It's really good, great art.
Yeah. So, and even the new one is good too.
Yeah, I like it.
Arsonist, yeah, that's another really good one. So,
took me a few listens, but yeah, I got there pretty quick with it.
Yeah. I think this one was what was the one after the or before the Arsonist? Okay, yeah. 40 Years at War was a good retrospective of reimagined songs. Not typically a big fan of that, but they did a very good job with that album. Basically picking a song or so from every album throughout the years. So.
All right. Good one. Alan.
Let's see. What else? Oh, I've been picking my way through the Enslaved catalog lately. One of those catalogs I had not heard large chunks of. And sometimes I will see their CDs used, but I'm never really sure which ones I might like, which ones I don't. Like, is this one of the early ones? Is this one of the new ones? Middle period? Is it more black metal? Is it more Viking? Is it more proggy? I don't know. I'm not paying. You just leave it there. Walk away. But I figure there's stuff in their catalog I would enjoy. So I've been kind of working through them, trying to figure out where's the good stuff. What ones could I probably do without? I've only ever had a few Enslaved albums. They were one of those bands I never found a lot of their stuff in the wild and never was interested enough to start ordering them. One that I did pick up and that I always have liked, though, was Modrum, which I think is their 5th one. Hadn't played this in forever and a day, but working my way through the catalog chronologically, like I'm still going to play the ones I have heard, maybe get some new context for them. And yeah, this album is still fantastic, holds up really well. I've always enjoyed just the first few tracks in particular really come out storming. Has a very big monumental kind of sound. They leave a lot of the Viking-y stuff behind on this one that was present on the earlier albums. This one doesn't necessarily feel proggy. They, of course, as I'm learning, they really get out there more into progressive territory on some of the later stuff. This one kind of sits comfortably somewhere in between those two endpoints. So this was another one that was really cool to revisit. Realize that, yeah, I'm not crazy. There is a good reason I've always said that's my favorite Enslaved out of the ones I've heard, because it is very good. It had just been a short ice age since it had ever gotten any spins. But yeah, Modrum. And I have been finding a couple of others that on first initial pass, I'm like, yeah, these, okay, next time I see this one, I will pick it up. And I'm also finding some where I'm like, I'm going to be okay passing on those for a while at least. So I am finding some cool stuff in the Enslaved catalog, but it was nice to get Modrum some spins. Just it got buried, and I forgot how cool it was. Bad on me.
All right. Well, I was this went on a little trip with me in my vehicle, and I had some groceries and a couple CDs in my hand. CDs went flying out of my hand. And landed in a puddle, and of course the artwork, as soon as a CD artwork touches water, it's fucked. It is completely fucked. But this is Vulture's Vengeance, the Night Lore. Someone sent this to me, and it's of the new wave of traditional heavy metal variety. And there's a lot of amazing talent in that whole subgenre of metal. A bunch of younger guys trying to sound like old metal. This thing is a bit exceptional, I think. This thing is a little bit raw. The singer is very unique, and the guitar work is just fantastic. There's a little bit of a speed metal flair in some of the riffs. I've only listened to this 1.5 times, but I was pretty impressed by it. And it made me want to. I have yet to file it because it bothers me that the artwork is ruined. It really bothers me. I may have to replace it, but it is if you're into that style, and you haven't heard Vulture's Vengeance, check them out. It's very aggressive, well done, great guitar work, great guitar melody lines. Fantastic. I was quite impressed by this. And that says a lot, because everything I've waded into listening to this, I've waded into the genre kind of blindly. None of it sucks. It's all good. I don't know why. I just am not like super excited about it. It's almost too good, if that makes any sense. It's so precise and perfect. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but this impressed me. There's enough speed metal in here, and the vocalist is really good. So check out Vulture's Vengeance. Good stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a good pick, Barney. Their second album's even better than that one, in my opinion. Kellen's really, really big on that band too. It's one of his favorites from that whole movement.
Another band from that movement that I checked out, that Riot something or other.
Riot City.
Riot City. You had like the Jaguar with the lasers coming out of the eyes on the
Electric
cover.
Elite.
That stuff is pretty good too. I checked them out on digitally. I'm like, wow, this is pretty impressive as well. It could kind of be in the same realm as that Vulture's Vengeance, I guess.
Yeah, Riot City's got a very good, powerful sound. They are way overdue for a third album, so not sure what's going on there.
Yeah.
Night Demon is a good one too from that area.
Yes, that's a really good pick. They're overdue. They should have another album out by now. Yeah. I think there was some rumblings about it online, for whatever that's worth. It seems like online everybody's about to put out a new album, but
I think Jarvis was touring South America with Sarathungal. Too, so
that's going to be done soon. He'll have more time for Night Demon, I think.
Yeah,
I'm sure the Sarathungal eats up a lot of his his time too.
Yeah. But yeah, I had a chance to meet Jarvis at the show when I saw him.
Cool.
Saw them open for Night Demon, open for Overkill and King Diamond. He was out there at the merch booth selling his own stuff. I picked 2 of the records. Hey, which 2 should I get? He's like, well, they're all my babies, so I picked the 2 newest ones. Right. And then after the show, he's back out there, all sweaty and everything, back at the merch booth, and I was pretty impressed with it. And I'm like, I want the other 2 as well. And he signed one and did a picture with me and everything. So
nice,
really nice.
So, yeah. So.
All right. He got Sarathungal back on the map. If he never records another note, he gets massive props for that, because they would not have ever lumbered out of retirement if it weren't for him, I don't think.
Yeah. Hey, who knows this one?
I think I've seen Jurgen show that one before.
Actually, it's Jurgen that recommended me to get this thing. He said it's excellent, fast thrash.
White Mantis,
Arrows at the Sun. This isn't their first one, but it's a brand new release that came out late last year, and it's a first time release on High Roller. Excellent thrash, very fast drumming, powerful drumming, and fast guitars. Necro Tornado is actually one of the best songs on there, the title track. But yeah, there you can see almost the alien-like creature there. It's these High Rollers are so glossy, but they do a nice job with their releases.
They do.
Yeah. So. But yeah, it's something new, and something we don't hear a lot of new things. Void is another new one that's been really good out there too. So
they got signed to Metal Blade.
They did. They signed with Metal Blade. Yep.
Oh wow. So, yep, that one got a lot of chatter last year.
Great record. Great band.
Excellent. Yeah. U.S. thrash band I think somebody here showed it on the Metallurgy, I believe, because the cover of that one, and they all look like they're from the the 80s. But
Yep. Was that on Rick's year-end list, Marty? I feel like
it was on mine too.
Okay.
Yeah. Jim was the one that turned me onto it on an album club. He pulled it as one of his he's been spinning, and he said how great it was, and I'm like, okay, if he's saying it's great thrash, I'm gonna have to check it out. And it is. It's great. Awesome band.
And that's how I picked them up. I got the one before that, and then the little 7-inch EP. And I'm like, all right, everybody's saying how good it is. I grabbed it all. I got free shipping from Shadow Kingdom because it was, I think $58. So for all 3 of them. So,
question for Ed on the screen there: did you pick up the second White Mantis?
I thought this was the second one. Or is there one before that? I know there's one before it. This is the only one I do have, but I think I am going to go back and add those to the next High Roller order.
That is the second, Arrows at the Sun. The first one is called Sacrifice Your Future.
Yeah, I don't have that one yet, but
cool cover on that one too. Huh.
I need to watch the High Roller orders. I have to, because not only is it a $54 shipping charge, now they're charging us duty, and the last one came through was $30 some in duty. getting it in here. So I have to make sure the box has enough stuff in it to make it worth it. So,
oh my God. Yeah.
You know, actually, Darcy and I have been throwing a couple orders together, trying to help that issue. So
they need a U.S. store.
Well, Gary does bring it in here, but they're definitely higher priced because he's bringing them here and, you know, making a living as well. You know, I can't knock him for that. But
yeah, he can't sell them for less than what it's costing him to bring them in. He's got to make some money on them. Yeah, it has always irked me that High Roller hasn't made some stronger push to get solid U.S. or North American distribution.
It's a great label.
It
really is.
I got one more coming up here. Maybe I'll do that one next, and that because then I'll talk about some nice things with this one. So,
all right, you're up next, Alan.
All right, picked this up and have not spun this a lot yet, but it's made a good first impression. Marty, I've heard you mention this band before. I'd heard others mention it. Somehow they completely escaped me in the tape trading days. And it seems like the kind of thing I would have gotten through the tape trading route, but never did. It is Eucharist, Mirrorworks, which I think is their second album.
Yep.
If I'm understanding correctly. You know, very, very good melodic death metal is where it kind of slots in. It's this was a scene I paid a lot of attention to in the later 90s, and I had lots of different, you know, demos and EPs and stuff from Dark Tranquillity and In Flames and all those kind of bands from tape trading. People would tack those things on to blank TDKs when they were rounding things out. Somehow I had never heard a note of Eucharist, but the name had kept popping up. And let's see, this had probably got back around Halloween, so it's been sitting here a little while, just hasn't got a ton of plays. It was one of those things where just flipping through online site, I think it came from, let me think. I think it came from Yasuki, Nuclear War Now. And was getting, you know, a couple of other things he had. Oh, yeah, one of them I'll show here in a few minutes. I've been waiting for Simon to show up because it's a Simon kind of pick. NWN was the only guy that had the other CD in the US, so I was getting a copy of that. And then I happened to notice this was one of the new arrivals. I'm like, oh, everyone keeps talking about that. And I poked around, like, actually, nobody else really has that in stock anywhere in the US. So sure, let's just add it to the other CD since I'm ordering something anyway. But yeah, have liked it. Good first impression. The reason it hasn't gotten more spins is that melodic death metal like this is something I tend to listen to in small doses. I enjoy it quite a bit, but it's not the kind of stuff I can put in the car and play for 2 weeks straight. Play it a few times, I'm satisfied, set it aside. Come back a few weeks later, play it a couple of times, set it aside. It's always been that way with whether it's In Flames, Dark Tranquillity, any of those other style of bands, Gates of Ishtar, Everdawn. A few spins is always enough to kind of saturate me on it. So I've got to take breaks in between. But Mirrorworks seems like, a very strong entry in that style. Glad I finally got to check it out. How does it compare to the other album, Artie? Just for future Sick Little Monkey reference.
I think the production on that one is really good. Their debut full length, it sounds really bad. The production, it's great material on it, but there's no bass in it. It's all very trebly. So it kind of scars that one a bit for me, although it's considered a classic. That one there, they've got, you know, the full production. I think it's a little less aggressive, maybe because of the production, but yeah, I mean, it's good. Mirror Worlds is a good record. Yeah, good melodic sweet death for sure. All right. Well, again, off on a tangent here. I am listening to a lot of goth and electronic type music lately, but I'm back on the Wumpscut vibe here with Bunker Gate 7 and my favorite, Embryo Dead. Embryo Dead's my favorite. The songs are really good on here. I love the aggressive, distorted vocals. again, just there's something about this style of music. It is very aggressive, very dark, and I love how clean the synth work is. It's just, distortion in guitars and metal. It's just very dissonant. Here, the aggression is very clinical in a way. It's a very clinical aggression, and I just love the synth layers, the synth sounds. It's just good. It's like, it feels like aggressive metal without the metal to me. I don't know. I guess that's a good way, except maybe a little dancey at times too. It's, I'm not opposed to shaking my ass once in a while, but
yeah. You got Misanthropy's attention with that one for sure.
Right on. And I was doing some investigating this week into the Wumpscut catalog. Dude, if you ever decide to say, I'm going to get all the Wumpscut releases, you are not very bright, because there's a million of them, full-length albums, EPs, singles. Oh God, it's too much. It's too much. And I am just ignorantly wading into it. I've gotten 5 or 6 of his albums, and that's probably all I need. But the scum in me is like, oh, I could always use a few more of those as well. So yeah, check out Wumpscut if you're into that type of stuff, aggressive electronic / industrial / EBM style music. Good stuff. All right, Ed.
Well, I'm going to stick with the high roller stuff, and that is they recently went through a reissue campaign with Oz. I've been spinning these. I've got the first one downstairs too. That one's a little more different, a little different than, and actually these two are quite different from each other too.
Yep.
But this one here is the first one I listened to out of these 5 that they released. Some very good stuff that High Roller does. That's the booklet in here. Look what they do. Reading through, there's a very nice interview, but a write up on the band. I was very excited to see a write up in all the booklets. Turns out it's the exact same write up in all 5 albums, but they're doing the letters, like from the labels to various radio stations around Europe. Some of these I can read. I can read the Scandinavian languages, Danish, Swedish, Norwegian ones. The Finnish ones, no, because that's where they started. Finnish is a language that's a little out there.
It's more Hungarian than it is Northern. Yeah.
Correct. And I know a guy that moved to Hungary, but then after 2 years came back, and he said that it's the language. It's wow. But yeah, the Finnish, I can't make anything out of it. I can read the Scandinavian ones, some of the German, but it's nice to read what they had to say about the band, how they came to be, the record label, how and I had some notes. I'm not sure what happened to that, but the label that got these guys going back in 1982, his son got involved helping them as well. Thomas Ace, and that's his hand holding Corthon from Bathory. Yep, that was the son of the guy that got these guys brought on the map. And really, I think Corthon is the one that got a lot of the what do you call it? A lot of the imagery and the what this album came to be. And then I don't have an original single, but I think we all remember. Yeah, it kind of looked like that, but it was the Turn the Cross, the single, the 12-inch. They did not do a bonus single like they sometimes do. They just included it on the back here at the very at the end here as a bonus track, which my original Combat does not have that. But I do remember back in the day seeing the Bonsai Canada had it on it. So, but yeah, I think a buddy of mine in Detroit still has a copy of that original. The original Nuns Have No Fun, and as well as that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, when High Roller gets going on a reissue campaign, they really go all out on it.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that with the Rods.
Mm-hmm.
There was another one they did a lot of too. Can't think of it right off the top, but yeah, excellent work. So, and they keep their stuff in print too. So a lot of it. So
Yeah.
So, and if you buy it right from the label, they're pretty cheap. So keep build a box and they'll send it over. So
yeah.
So
awesome, great label.
Total Underground says he needs to pick up all 4. There's actually 5. The first one, then these 2, then came Roll the Dice. No, that was the 5th one. Decibel Storm was the 4th one. So all 5 have been done. So yes, Razor. They did the entire Razor campaign too. Yeah. So
nice.
Yeah.
All right. Good one. Alan, you're up.
Yeah, very cool. That's made me run and grab this off the shelf, Ed. That's the 12-inch EP
There you go.
that was just talking about for Turn the Cross Upside Down. Killer song that wasn't originally on the album.
Right.
I have a funny story about this. I have told this in the past, but it's been a long time. There's probably different people watching, listening now. This EP was something that I tried for a long time to track down because I had heard of it whispered in all these kind of legendary tones. And this is all pre-streaming and everything. So I had never heard the song. But yeah, I had the Fire in the Brain album. It's a real banger. Yeah. And people just, swore by the fact that, this was the greatest song the band ever did. So I was like, okay, got to track it down. Sometime in the late 90s, or maybe very, very earliest 2000s, found a copy on eBay, bid on it, won it for a reasonable price, wasn't too expensive. It's like, oh, awesome. Finally, I'm going to get to hear this thing. So I paid for it and waited a week or two, no package. Waited another week, no package. Emailed the seller. It's like, hey, what's up with it? Where's my burrito? You find a nice way to ask, where's my burrito, damn it? And the guy emailed back a day or two later. He's like, I am so sorry, but there's a problem. The record, when he went to pack it up, he noticed that it had a slight warp to it. And he got really paranoid that I was going to get it and leave negative feedback and demand my money back and all this stuff. And he's like, I didn't notice the warp when I listed it. And so I thought to myself, I'll fix it. And so he ironed the record to try to iron the warp out of it. He's like, and when I did that, it kind of erased all the grooves on the record. I'm just like reading this email. I'm just like, oh, sweet Easter bunny. What the hell who am I dealing with here? I was like, well, okay. I'm like, I want my money back at least. He's like, he's like, I'll go ahead and email you the record. The cover's still nice. Maybe you'll find a record to go in it. I'll refund your money. I think this was probably even pre-PayPal, so he had to write me a check because I had sent him a check to pay for it. So yeah, about 5 days later, I get a box in the mail with a check for the same amount I had paid with shipping. He did a full refund and a very nice cover for Turn the Cross Upside Down, and a record that was just, yes, not a single groove on it, just completely a flat.
Did it fix the warp?
It fixed the warp. That record was not warped.
Mission accomplished.
It was as flat as possible, a little too flat. I may still have the extra cover laying around here somewhere. I don't know. Eventually, I found this copy.
That looks
and I made damn well sure that this seller didn't iron the fucking
Iron it.
thing. But yes, and I can happily report it is the best Oz song. That album in particular, Fire the Brain, has a ton of bangers on it. Turn the Cross Upside Down is the song. It's one of those 25 songs you must hear as a metalhead before you die kind of tracks. It's that good.
And I have a funny story with that song too.
Switch back over to it.
A friend of mine back in it had to be in the late 80s sometime. He was working for the local radio station here in town, and he played that on, and I don't understand what, I think it's the undercarrier, not the main frequency of the radio station. But and in other words, you could hear it 500 to 1,000 feet around the station, and that's it. But he played that song on there one night.
Well, probably a good idea to do it on the substation, I guess.
Yeah, subcarrier, I think the word was. I think now. Yeah, whatever that is. So.
All right, Alan.
Okay.
20 minutes on Oz later.
That's okay. That's 20 minutes.
Most coverage they've had in a long time.
Yeah.
So I've said tonight I've revisited several things that worked out well. They can't all work out well. For reasons, I decided it was time to revisit Danzig 8, Circle of Snakes. The first one that actually didn't have the number as part of the title. All his albums, I guess not the debut necessarily, but it was always Danzig 2, Danzig 3, Danzig 4, 4P, Danzig 5, What the Hell Are You Doing? Danzig 6, Satan's Child. The 8th album was just called Circle of Snakes. I heard it when it came out. I didn't buy it when it came out. I remember, though, that it had one song on it that was really good. It always stood out. It was called White Angel, Black Angel. It's the last track on the album. And as such, that was one more song that I liked than the previous album had. So I was like, okay, I guess it's at least a step in the right direction. I had kind of forgotten about it. And for some reason, here a month or so ago, I'm like, I really ought to give Circle of Snakes another chance. It did have one good song on it. Maybe there are others that I just don't remember. It has been, 20 years since I played it. I'm not sure there are any other good songs on Circle of Snakes. It's not a horrible album, but this era of Danzig, the songs are really simple. It's going for, just a very simple, heavy kind of a little bit bottom heavy kind of groove bludgeon to it. It doesn't sound like new metal. He didn't go in that direction, thankfully, but it really just, I don't connect with this era of Danzig much. 5, Black Acid Devil's always the album most people are like, steer clear of. And no, I've never had a great experience with that one either. But that wasn't the only one. He tried to get back on track with heavier stuff on albums like 6, 7, and 8. It's tough to love these Danzig albums for me. If other folks dig that era, that's absolutely fine. I thought the one album where it did all fall back into place was Death Red Sabbath. I was hoping maybe this one would be one of those forgotten gems, but no, it's probably time for that one to go in. Let's see, now what do you do with that? Because I was about to say I could put that in a VCOT box, but do I really want to send somebody a copy of Circle of Snakes? That sounds like a way to lose a buddy. Maybe it just goes to the local record store and stuff.
I'd keep it. Just keep it with the collection. Someday down the road, you'll be like, you'll be like what happened here last week. I kind of want to check out that Circle of Snakes album again. Like, oh no, it's gone. Then you're buying it. Like, oh, see if I can find it cheap. And yeah.
I really don't know. A problem I run into with something like this one too, and you're right, Marty, maybe someday it grows on me a little bit. It's always going, the best it can do is end up being like my 6th favorite Danzig album, because you've got the first 4, and Death Red Sabbath are always going to be on the shelf. If I'm reaching on the shelf for Danzig, I'm in a mood for Danzig. Oh, let me play the 6th best Danzig album. That's just not a sentence I'm going to utter very often.
Right.
So, yeah, it's probably time to process it. Somebody out there needs a copy of Circle of Snakes. You know, there's one sitting here that might need a new home pretty soon. Just saying. But yeah, not everything we revisit can turn out to be great. Oh well,
it's true. All right, well. Still a little bit of a residual hair metal going around in my house after the hair metal episode. And yeah, Pink Cream 69, One Size Fits All.
Oh, yeah.
This is their second album. And, you know, such a dumb name. And surprising to look and realize that this came out on Epic Records in 1991. Crazy.
I thought they were German only.
Oh, really?
I thought, yeah. Wow.
Nice.
Probably so. Or Europe only, at least.
You know, this is the first album. Once I can't remember what the name of it, with the Dayglow girls and the boobs on the cover. It's definitely glammy. This here continues to be a bit glammy, but they're starting to get a little heavier. There's a bunch of Andy songs all over this thing. Living My Life for You, Where the Eagle Learns to Fly. Great song. It's a very ballad-esque Andy Darris styled ballad. There's some good stuff on here. Do you like it like that? It's catchy, kind of cheesy but catchy. It's good to hear Andy Darris before he was in Halloween, and it's also good to hear that he didn't really change his style singing at all. He fit right in really well in the new realm, and the fact that they let him use his songs in Halloween as well. He did make them a bit heavier to fit the Halloween aesthetic, but they're really not that dissimilar from Pink Cream 69.
Right.
And Pink Cream 69, 2 other members on here, Dennis Ward, the bass player, and Costa, the drummer, were also in Place Vendôme with Kiska, or at least Dennis Ward was. And both of the guys were also in Unisonic with Kai Hansen and Michael Kiska on vocals, which that project was fantastic. I absolutely love Unisonic, but it's a small scene. A lot of these guys were in a bunch of different bands together, and this is good. If you like Andy Darris and you have not heard where he came from, all 3 of his albums with Pink Cream 69 are either good to really good. So the one that came after this, I like even better. So very good album. Very good band if you're into the little glammier side of German metal. Ed.
Found this week and a half ago. Marty, you and I, we walked into RPM and that thing was staring right up.
Oh, I didn't see you snag that one.
Yeah,
everybody who's listening, that's Q5 Steal the Light.
Yep. That was right there in the first bin as we walked in. I go, oh, and of course, I'm not going to pass up anything from Music for Nations. This thing is, I know the band, but I had never heard this one. This is their debut from 1984. Seattle. I guess I didn't realize they were an American band. But this thing, I played this a couple times, and each time I'm walking away humming Crocus songs. I don't know, there must be some influence there, but yeah. Just other than knowing the band, it was like, oh yeah, I gotta have that, and I just took it, grabbed it, and it's actually pretty good. So,
I'm glad that whole trip for we both found stuff.
Yeah, you got one too, yeah.
I got a couple things too 3 things actually I'll show next. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah.
Good one. All right. Alan.
Yeah, I don't know much about Q5. I feel like I've got a song or 2 by them on some compilations, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think they had 2 albums. The odd thing was they were a U.S. band, but other than the independent private press of this one, they were released in England.
All right.
Okay, saw Frank in the chat there having some fun with the ironed down Oz record. Frank and I have been emailing back and forth a little bit about some old 45s this week. I showed it, I guess, last week, but the John Hopp's big book on North American 45s from the 1978 to 1990s finally been released. It's Cult Metal Classics is a record label, but they have like a publishing wing or partnership. I'm not quite sure, but it's kind of basically through Cult Metal Classics. And a single from the book ended up showing up in the mail this week, thanks to Christian. We've had him on the show before. He's a big U.S. metal collector over in Sweden. Helps a lot with the Colosseum website, and in particular with their wing on North American singles. And he had gotten a couple of copies of this one recently, so gave me one of them. I help him out with some things here and there. I'm always happy to do so. He's a super nice guy. We've known each other for, probably close to 20 years now, which is crazy to think about. But he's like, yeah, I bought 2 of these. Don't need 2 of these. So here you go. It's a single from, I think, 89, a little later in the decade. The band is called Chosen Stranger. They were out of Illinois on something called Scrambler Records. Kind of a cool name, cool little logo. The tracks we've got on here are Lonely World and The Light. This was one I had never seen or heard of before. But yep, it's featured right there in John's book, of course. The deal with this particular single, first off, the band is a Christian metal band. So, Aaron, if you're still in the chat, your Jesus radar should be going off right about 10 seconds ago. Musically, it's not bad. It is not a particularly heavy band. They're definitely leaning a little bit more towards the commercial. Don't think I would go quite as far as saying AOR, but it's closer to AOR than it is to bona fide headbanging metal fare. That said, both tracks are reasonably catchy. I've spun it a few times. It doesn't feel like the lyrics are overly preachy. The Christian metal bands that I just can't work with are the ones that just keep repeating, "He is the rock, he is my rock," over and over. Like, yes, Jesus, you rock. Go do it somewhere else, please. I can't take this anymore. But they don't seem to be doing that with the lyrics, at least. They actually wrote songs, and there's a little bit of a faith-based theme to the lyrics, but it's not like obnoxious or one-dimensional. So it is. I don't expect this is something folks are ever going to really go out and lose their minds trying to find or anything like that. It's a one-off single. Don't know what became of the band. Probably was the only thing they ever did. But big thanks to Christian for sending me the extra copy of it. A fun one to add to the collection. I haven't been as active picking up these kind of private press 45s the past couple of years. They've gotten harder to find. They've gotten more expensive.
What was the band, Alan?
The band was called Chosen Stranger.
Okay.
Out of Illinois. But a lot of this stuff, there's a few dozen I would still gladly pick up, but the prices on some of them have gotten pretty stupid. I'm just not looking to spend huge money on these kind of items. They're fun. I enjoy learning about these smaller acts, but there is a certain point where the price tag is just not something I'm going to not going there. The monkey ain't that sick. Sorry. The monkey needs money for food and clothes, not just obscure 45s from the 80s. But Chosen Stranger. First and probably the last time any of us will hear of them.
Your monkey needs to get the program. My monkey survives off the dopamine hit. That's what feeds him. That's what feeds the monkey. It's the dopamine.
Yep.
All right. What were you gonna say, Ed? I'm sorry.
No, I said they don't have much else on Discogs. They've got that song, one other single, and it looks like not on label cassette from 1992.
Oh, okay. So they did have a little more material. I hadn't even looked them up on Discogs yet.
Lonely World and The Light.
Yep.
And then Death Walker in 92.
Okay. I guess something I should mention, because now that I've said no one's going to look for it, there's going to be that one person who goes and looks for it. There is a note in John's book that apparently there are 3 versions of the single. There are some copies that have Lonely World on both sides. Another press that has The Light on both sides. And then there's this press I just showed that, has one song on one side and one song on side B. Why? I don't know if that was like a mispressing that happened or what. I can't imagine why you would have pressed up a single with the exact same song on both sides, just being a small band like that. So maybe it was something the printing plant messed up and they had to redo them. Don't know. But if you're that one listener who right now is already, hitting all the, private single sellers and vendors out there looking for a Chosen Stranger copy, if you want to hear both songs, do check carefully before you buy it to make sure that you're not getting a copy that has the exact same song on the A and B side, because that apparently is a thing.
Yeah. All righty. Well, before I start showing a bunch of hair stuff, I spun the first Sigyn record the other day, Sumerian Promise.
Okay.
Promise says, yes. This is a international band between Germany and Spain. It's got the guy from Necros Christos on vocals and bass, I believe. But their latest album is like a 80s American thrash tribute. It's like riff salad, very clangy bass tone. It's fantastic. Great album. Mm-hmm. This here is darker, more death metal minded with still some thrash kind of mixed in. It's like a mostly death metal. It's a very dark record, but man, the songwriting is very catchy. So good. Great production. The dude's voice is just an evil croak, man. It fits this music so well. It seems a little out of place maybe on the new one, but it somehow works. I don't know. But fantastic. I think I like the Sigyn project better than the later era of Necros Christos. I like that stuff, but I don't know. This just seems so much more fresh and exciting than what Necros was doing at the end, for me anyway. But
I mean, Necros was always a little bit more about the atmosphere. Sigyn seems to be a little bit more about like the Motorhead-ish, Sodom-ish kind of rock out vibe.
Yep.
But otherwise, I get the comparison.
All right, Ed.
All right. How about one that was very difficult to get?
I've never seen this on vinyl.
What's that?
I've never seen this one on vinyl.
It just came out.
It just came out. I'm pretty sure it's already gone. This thing was very difficult to get because I saw the pre-orders go up. I got excited about it. I texted Darcy, and neither one of us could order it. It turned out that it was blocked from ordering into the U.S. or North America. I emailed Stefan at High Roller. Yeah, I'll check with the label. And he emailed back a little bit later and said, no, I won't be able to get that. It's a label exclusive. I can't get it. And then they would not, they won't send it to the United States. Red vinyl. Nice. Sounds great. And yes, I saw in the chat, somebody said it's Church of Vinyl. They did a pretty good job with it. I did a thing on my own. What?
It looks good.
Yeah. I did a thing on my own YouTube with it here too, because it's one of these pop-ups. So, but took a little bit of work to get one over here, but the live one before this, that came out just before this, same thing. That's on pre-order right now. Also not available in North America. So that should be out the end of the month. But trying to complete my Overkill collection. The live one is the last one that I need on vinyl.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I've got a huge collection of these on vinyl. Now I'm working on a couple. Someone answer me why Overkill doesn't have a U.S. vinyl. Yeah, I don't know why. It's a U.S. band, and these things are coming out in Europe only.
Well, they're super big in Germany, aren't they? I mean, that could be why.
It could be why, but I don't know why. I mean, it's licensed from Nuclear Blast, so we did see Relics 14 come out here late last year on Nuclear Blast. So maybe we'll see some of the other ones come too. From the Underground and Below. What's that? Necroshine. No, Necroshine was on this label here too, but it had a U.S. release as well. Or not a U.S. release. It was they could send it over here. High Roller had it at the time, but this one was hard to get. And the live one, the double live, is coming here too. So, but maybe we'll get some more down the road.
Yeah. Maybe if Nuclear Blast already has intentions to put them out in the U.S. a little bit later, maybe that's why the deal was that you can't send them to the U.S. because they're intending to press them in the U.S. later in the year or something.
Yeah, that could be. And yes, Metal Kev, that is correct. We have that rolling right now. So.
Yeah, Killing Kind has held up better than I thought it would. It's one of those albums when I got it was decent, but then I didn't play it for ages. When I went back to it, I'm like, this is probably not going to be that good. And it's like, no, actually, that'll work.
It's pretty good. Mm-hmm. The one I think, Wrecking Your Neck Live. Yes, that's correct. The one that I probably have the hardest time with is I Hear Black.
Oh, that's not a good record. No, that's their worst record easily.
Took me a while to track down an original of that, but 1993 original vinyl. So
cool.
Yeah.
So. All right, good one, Alan.
I want to be very good, and I'm not going to go down the I Hear Black rant rabbit hole tonight.
You a fan or a no fan?
No fan.
Okay.
That album grinds my gears. And not like the cool gears on like the later Overkill album cover.
The grinding wheel.
Not those gears. No. Let's see what's next. Oh, yeah. Here, let's mention this. Someone mentioned this in the chat a few weeks ago. I'm sorry, I do not remember who. I think we were talking about summoning, which Marty and I are prone to do from time to time. And somebody asked, "Oh, have you guys heard this one?" I'm like, no, I have no idea what that is. The name stood out right away because it's a Tolkien name, but they mentioned it's a newer project doing a summoning variant. So I stuck in the back of my head, and lo and behold, the last time I went out to the local record store, they had a copy of it on the shelf. I'm like, I actually know what that is because I remembered it, and I'm going to buy it. So I did. The band name is Theoden's Reign. And sure, you can read it very easily. It's right there somewhere.
Yeah, there it is.
But Theoden's Reign. The album is titled Citadel of Stars. Cover, let me take it out of the case, get rid of a little bit of the glare. It is a very summoning-esque type of cover. Enchanted Lands of Middle Earth, Archway, all those kind of trademarks we think of with summoning albums. And it's very much it's another band doing the summoning thing. What makes Theoden's Reign a little different, they do have at least a little bit of a unique twist on it. This band is incorporating a more folky element. You get more of some flutes and that type of instrumentation, rounding things out instead of the big sound timpani sounding drums, where a summoning goes for that kind of big, grand, deep, epic sound. Theoden's Reign is doing something similar, all Tolkien inspired lyrics, wanting that world building soundscape style of music, but approaching it from a folky direction. So I'm like, okay, you are aping summoning pretty hard here. And it seems like summoning's become one of those bands that's getting more and more popular to try that with, which I don't know how many of those you need. Don't need a ton of summoning clones necessarily. But I was glad to see that Theoden's Reign is doing something a little bit unique, because summoning's not a band that I feel like has ever really tried folk mixed into the sound. And that does make this one stand apart from it. I've only played it a few times. It seems pretty good. If you want a folky summoning, here you go. Theoden's Reign it is. I don't remember if this is their debut album or not. Like I said, kind of a recent pickup. I've only spun it a few times. Haven't delved into the band's background or anything yet. But cheers to whoever mentioned it in the chat a couple of weeks ago. I'm glad you shouted it out, because, yeah, I actually stumbled into it, picked it up, and seems like a pretty solid listen so far.
All right. Well, let's go. Gorefest, Rise to Ruin. Love this band when they're good. They have a middle era that's not very good, and it's unfortunate. A lot of wasted years there, but
just erase it from your memory, Marty.
Follow me to where the real fun is. Yeah, this is the Gorefest final album, and it is a banger. I would put this in league with their False album as a favorite. False is still my favorite. This is a damn close second, with Mind Lost being the third favorite. But Ed Wormsby, is that his name? The drummer, fantastic drummer. He has been all along. Produced really well. His performance really stands out on here. Jan's vocals are brutal as shit. You can understand what he's saying. They're somewhat a political leaning, social political type of band, and it just fits for what they're doing. Calling out hypocrisy and political type stuff, and Revolt, the lead off track, absolute banger. This is just this is a Back on Black pressing. I don't know what this came out on originally. It might have been Back on Black I have the CD of this too. I don't know what that came out on, but it sounds pretty damn good for a 2 LP. On Back on Black are notoriously loud pressings, not very good. It sounds pretty damn good. So big fan. Ed Warby, thank you. Why am I saying Wormsby? It's Warby. Thanks, Wade, for the correction. If you've never heard Rise to Ruin, check it out. The album that came before this too is really good as well. It's just a bit long, and there's a lot more mid-paced stuff on here. This one has the fire again. It sounds like a youthful band instead of an older guys towards the end of their career. So very good stuff.
Nuclear Blast in Germany and UK got the Back on Black.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. You're up, Ed.
Well, this was one that I have wanted an original of forever. Finally found a near mint copy.
Nice.
Yeah, I had to pay a little bit for this, but
Dark Angel vinyl doesn't come easy these days.
No. The nice thing about this one here, it's the first pressing with the colors pictures that does not show Gene Hoglan on it in the picture. He's just credited as being in the band, but the other guy, Schwartz, Jack Schwartz, the drummer, that's actually on here. These are hard to find originals of. No insert, nothing in that, but definitely having this thing. I mean, this cover is mint, and this thing plays little noise, but I think that could just be the original sloppy vinyl of a independent label back in 1985, or is this 84?
Is that Ezra or Ironworks?
This is a Maelstrom record.
Okay.
Yeah, copyright Maelstrom, but I think it had an Ezra later on. It looks like
cool.
It looks like those Ezra labels.
Yep.
And it's got the clear, the see-through vinyl too. So obviously, that listening to that one, made me have to pull out this one too. This is, in my opinion, their pinnacle.
Me too. I agree. Yeah.
Everyone talks about Darkness Descends, and they kind of forget the album that came before it.
Yeah.
This one is by far their best. Is this one great? No, it's good. I'm super happy to have it, but it's if I'm gonna pull one off the shelf, it's gonna be this one here.
Mm-hmm.
Not hearing a lot of good things about the new one, the reunited one that they did here this year.
Yeah, that didn't go over so well, did it?
I haven't even heard the whole thing. I don't know
either.
if it's even on any of the streaming services
yet. It's not on the streaming. You can only order it. I think it's a private press, some independent Canadian, and trying to order it, I think was like $54 by the time you pay $26 shipping just to get it sent to the US, which I thought was crazy. No US. I mean, I would have probably grabbed it if I could have found it cheap enough, but it doesn't.
It's one of those bands to me that I try to wrap my head around why the public opinion is so favorable. I mean, I get it. The Darkness Descends is a classic. Great record. We Have Arrived is good. I agree with you, Ed. It's good. It's not a mind-blowing album. And after that, Leave Scars and Time Does Not Heal. It's just a mess. The songwriting got really busy.
Yeah.
And I mean, Leave Scars is pretty good. It's a good record. It's just there's too many riffs. And now to hear that everybody is largely hating on, other than a handful of people, or the new Dark Angel, it's like, huh? You think they would have come back swinging?
Yeah. I was hoping for more, but it's no one's got it. It's not available anywhere, and I'm reluctant to spend $50 on a record that I know I'm probably not going to like.
Yep, exactly.
What Eric is saying here, the new Dark. I mean, the cover art was AI slop.
Yeah,
and I haven't heard the whole album. I've listened to maybe half of it. It was online for at least a little while. Maybe I wonder if they checked. They very quickly turned off comments when some songs were on YouTube, because it was just getting absolutely trashed. And it didn't sound too impressive. I mean, it had some selling points to it. The guitar work on it was pretty solid. They shred fairly well. But the vocals, the songwriting just didn't seem to come together at all. And Marty, I'm kind of like you. I don't quite get why. It seems like people want to put that band on a higher tier than maybe they deserve. Darkness, they have that one album everyone gravitates to, but that means there's also a lot of other albums that had issues, left you wanting a bit. So it is strange that folks always kind of want to push them to the top of the pyramid. Is it a Gene Hoglan effect?
It must be. The more successful he got in his career, it made what he did in the past more iconic for people, maybe. But
could be. I mean, they were one of the heavier, more extreme thrash bands, and that probably gets them a few points too. That folks are going to gravitate towards whatever was the most brutal, sickest, thrash over, maybe just like a very standard sounding Bay Area band.
Time Does Not Heal. I liked it in a way, but it seemed like, so many 8-minute songs on there. It just kept going.
Yes, exactly.
I think I liked it better than Leave Scars, but
when the hype sticker on the front of it says 291 riffs,
67 minutes. Yeah, I know.
It's like, you know what? That does not tell me that this is well constructed songs. It's just riff salad. They could have written 2 more albums with, if they trimmed 3/4 of those riffs and saved it for the next album, 2 albums, they've been great.
I'm trying to figure out Sunday's comment here. Dark Angel is the Stimpy to Death Angel's Ren.
Okay.
I'm not sure that's good for either band, really. Like, do you want to be the Ren in that relationship? I don't know. Ren had issues, man.
The Death Angel there, I mean, that's a phenomenal
Oh yeah, that's a great record.
Yeah, just
Ultra
that's an
Violence.
original 1987 Metal Blade right there, or
Nice.
Enigma Metal Blade.
Very cool.
So,
Okay, I think it is Alan's turn.
Oh, well, good. Yep. Let's see. This came up in a weird way, and I had forgotten the band existed, but when I remembered it, it's like, well, yeah, it turned out it was really cheap, so I did get a copy. Good grief, how did this come up? The guys over at Radical Research, Jeff and Hunter, did an episode not too long ago on Realm. It's all coming back to me now. Marty and I have talked about Realm a bit. Cool band, made a couple of albums. They're mostly remembered for putting a cover of Eleanor Rigby on one of them, which I'm going to be really good and not complain about that tonight. The album is,
Foul.
quite good. You take away the cover and the album's great. Some people like the cover, and that's cool if they do. I'm just not. I don't want anything Beatles related about me. Anyway, the Hunter and Jeff went off on a little bit of a tangent, and there was a Easter egg buried in their show notes. They didn't talk about it during the podcast, but I went and read the footnotes they usually post, and they actually had, it was a little blurb. It was like, hey, in talking about this, it reminded us of another Wisconsin band from back in the day. And it was a little word puzzle. You could tell that they phrased the sentence very oddly. And then they followed that up with, oh, and by the way, if anybody knows the other obscure Wisconsin band we just referenced in the last sentence, send us an email and we'll send you like a little prize package thing. And I looked at the sensing, I'm like, that rings, I know what is sticking out here. It rings a bell, but it took me a minute to put it back together. I'm like, this word pair that's not a word pair that should be in this sentence. Expound and exhort. Expound and exhort. Where have I heard expound and exhort before? And it finally clicked. I came up with a very goofy email. I wasn't worried about winning the prize thing or anything like that. But yeah, I come up with this very odd, funny email to send to Jeff and Hunter to hopefully give them a kick out of it. But yeah, they were making a reference to viogression with expound and exhort, which I completely forgot even existed. But once I remembered they existed, I'm like, wow, it'd be fun to hear that. And this, I was pleasantly surprised to see there are plenty of copies of it still all over the internet for $10.
Yeah, I got mine super cheap in a used bin somewhere back
it's
years ago.
Unlike many of these vintage CDs, it is apparently not in demand and is not spiking in price.
They weren't popular.
Apparently not. So, and you can partially see why. The cover art leaves a bit to be desired. Brought to you by the fine folks at Crayola, perhaps.
It's the Hulk's methed out cousin.
It does kind of look like the Hulk meets Peter Steele or something. But yeah, just kind of roughly done. Obviously, very DIY type thing. DIY. Get my letters mixed up. But for whoever's not familiar with viogression, and that'd be forgivable, they were operating in the same kind of early death metal style as Death around the Leprosy era. Early Obituary would be another very good reference point, because viogression, like Obituary, is not above slowing it down normally from time to time. And as I said earlier tonight, when death metal bands will slow down a hair, I tend to stop and pay more attention. I like it when they kind of really slow down and let that lethality sink in rather than just blazing and blasting their way through constantly. So yeah, it was kind of fun to go back and rediscover viogression. I don't know the last time that name had even gone through my brain, but this little Easter egg word puzzle contest thing on Radical Research jogged the memory, shook the rust loose. It's like, oh yeah. So a week and $10 later, I was able to enjoy me some viogression once more. Fun thing I noticed in here too, poking through the liner notes, I think it's on the back cover. Yes, this one was the production credit says produced by Eric Grafe, the dude who soon after this would latch onto Chuck Schuldiner really hard and be associated with the kind of mid-period of his career.
And tried to do the same thing on a Death record.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And he tried to give himself credit for production on Spiritual Healing. And when James Murphy noticed that, when the band got their like advanced copies or whatever, here it is, guys, hot off the presses, they're taking it out, and everyone's geeking out over it. And Murphy was sitting there looking through the letters. He's like, hey, Chuck, what the hell's with this? And Chuck freaked. This is documented in the biography that came out recently that David Gilkey wrote. And it was, one of those breaking moments, because as folks know, Chuck's one of those people that if you kind of betrayed him, he did not take that well. And he felt this was a huge betrayal of Scott Burns, who he was very good friends with, that Eric had basically tried to pull Scott's name off of it and claimed he had produced the album. So I'm a little dubious about how much Eric did or did not produce the Viogression album. Doesn't matter at the end of the day, really. But yeah, it was an interesting thing to note there. And of course, if you have a certain reissue of Spiritual Healing, it does say produced by Eric Grafe. When the reissues were done, Eric got back in there and did a little editing. There's even, I think, a footnote about it. It's like, oh, this is the way it was supposed to have been back in the day. No, it never was supposed to be that way. But when the reissues came out, Scott Burns wasn't really on the scene anymore. Chuck, of course, was not on the scene. So it slipped through the second time. So you can find CD copies that will say produced by Eric Grafe on Spiritual Healing. I think my copy is that pressing, if I remember right. Anyway, Viogression, if you need something that sounds like a B-tier obituary meets early death, Viogression will be the fix you need.
All right. Yep. As Ed mentioned, him and we met up at a local record store here a couple weekends ago and did some crate digging. RPM Records. I guess shout out to them. I mean, I don't know. It's a beautiful store. Their electronics section, they do it right. They have a lot of cheap, affordable components in there. Any price point you want to blow, they have it covered. The vinyl, there's no metal section, and they're never going to have one, which is unfortunate. But if you dig, you find some stuff, and I found a copy of Portland, Oregon's Malice, their second album, License to Kill.
Oh, yeah.
I've had friends that were into this, and I've seen, people like Dennis, touting how sick and rips, type of explanations. And you look at the back, the pictures, and you're like, huh. Okay. It looks a little glammy, looking a little glammy, but you know what? It's a pretty good heavy metal record. I didn't get the glam essence really at all.
Not really. This. No. You're right. It looks sus, but
it looks very turns sus. Out okay. But this is a music on vinyl reissue, and it sounds good. And the music is, there's nothing on here that really blows me away, but it's a pretty solid record. I was pretty impressed. It's one that I haven't put it away yet. I'm probably going to spin it a few more times to get accustomed to it before I stick it into the void. But yeah, pretty good stuff. Good metal, good heavy metal, traditional heavy metal style with a little aggression here and there. Nothing mind-blowing, but solid. Ed.
And the one before that was pretty good too. So
really, okay, keep an eye.
Yeah. So,
I've been looking for. That's been in my eBay or Discogs want list for quite a while.
Yeah. Oh, what? I don't know this cover art.
It's the Extended Power single.
EP. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's why I'm not recognizing.
That's cool.
So, Battlefield, Waiting for the Moon, What's Up, and then Ashes and Women. It's a 5-track. So even with the tour listing from the day.
Is that Secrets in the Weird World era? In that?
Yeah, this is 1991, I believe.
Rage.
1991. Yep. So just a cool little EP.
Yeah, but it's between Reflections of a Shadow and Trapped is when that one dropped.
Pre-Trapped.
Yeah, so yeah, that'd be around 91-ish then.
Yep.
I think Trapped had these songs. The reissue of Trapped had the songs on it, I think. Yeah. So, but
it's so cool. I like it. It always caught my eye.
And this, I don't think this ever saw the light of day here in the States, but
I can't imagine.
Noise, Germany. So, yeah, definitely a cool little EP. So just
did it to promote a tour.
And
the old school way,
And I don't know if Jürgen showed that one during the deep dive. He might have just thrown it in there as a in-between thing.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't remember. Yeah, I really don't remember that cover art, but I could have missed it.
I think he did, and this is his former copy. So it came out of his for sale pile.
Nice.
So, yeah. I was glad to grab it. So I'm slowly filling the Rage collection up there.
I've got quite a few of the CDs. I'm over halfway, but I'm not. I'm in a couple of records too, but not where it needs to be. There's another band that never really put out a shit record. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I think I need 6 of them still, which is crazy because I've got 20 plus already, including the Avengers.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
all right, Alan.
All right, time for another EP. I was going to say I missed this when it came out, but I don't think I was paying attention to the band when it came out, so it makes sense I missed it. It's a band that started out as a black metal project in Norway, but pretty quickly left the black metal sphere and got into electronic rock. I don't really know what to call them, except that I enjoy their music. And it's called Manus. I want to say Manus, that may be mispronouncing it. Yeah, they had one album that has a convoluted title, but something Blood Red Moon. It was their early black metal release. Ooh. Are we still all good? Who's going on the screen? Blink.
I don't know. Something is glitching out. I don't know if it's on my end or what.
I know you're fading.
Are we good? Not good?
Well, I look good on here. Ed and Alan are both glitching out.
Alan here. I can still see you there.
You're getting better.
I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep, you're just getting a little pixelated. I don't know whose end this is on.
You're pixelating too, yeah.
It's the stream, apparently. People are saying it's the stream.
But we're over the 2-hour mark, so that often...
There, we're back. I think it's back now. Everything seems to be groovy again. All right, Alan, what were you saying?
No problem. Was it just me that glitched up, or did everybody?
The whole stream did.
Okay.
You. Yeah.
So it wasn't just me.
So Manus.
Yeah, Manus. Yeah, made one pretty interesting black metal album. I think it didn't come out until like 99. So it was
several really good demos too. I can grab those if you want to see what those look like.
Yeah, they had demoed stuff, but it was a while before the album came out. And by the time it was released, they had already sort of started drifting in this other, much cleaner music, dabbles in electronica and stuff. I'm not familiar with those styles, so I don't know exactly how to best label it. Doesn't matter. It's really interesting stuff. Anyway, this EP is I think the most recent thing they've put out, it's been a while since their last full-length album. They've talked about one, said they had it basically in the can, but it hasn't come out yet. But flipping through, what distro did this come through? I was looking through, maybe this also came from NWN. That doesn't feel right, though. Anyway, I was looking at something else. It's like, oh, there's a Mayonnaise CD. What is that? And I had to look it up. And so I was like, it's just an EP. But it was only a few bucks. It was not expensive. So I was like, yeah, sure. We'll add that to the order. And it's of the same high quality as most of their stuff from recent years. The thing that's different with this one is, for some reason, their vocalist was quote unquote unavailable, and they had a quote unquote very short time frame to record this in. So they ended up working with a female vocalist. She was not meant to become a full member of the band. It was basically like, we need somebody to sing on this. They had been, I guess, practicing, rehearsing with her a little bit to flesh out the songs, and they sounded really good. And I don't know how your vocalist is unavailable and you just go with somebody else. Apparently everybody was cool with it. So she ended up doing the full official vocals on it. All 4 tracks are really, really good. I won't belabor the point, since it's not a style I know. I can't tell you, oh, it sounds like, this project or that project or anything. Just that, yes, if you like anything else you've heard from Manas on any of their more recent albums, any of their 21st century output, the EP lives up to the rest of the stuff. Great clean sound, little moody and foreboding. And I do like the vocalist. She did a really nice job on it. It just did throw me for a bit of a loop when I put it on and realized it was not the normal singer.
All right. Well, last Friday, my son and I took a little trip up to Petoskey, Michigan, check out Hexagon Records. Interesting little shop starting out. Has some a metal section. But on the way there, we listened to both of these records back to back. The debut Metal Church. I got this at a record show for $8 when nobody cared about vinyl. And we listened to The Dark, which I got at Car City Records in Detroit, Michigan, back in the day when no one cared about records, for $5.77. Still in the shrink. Perfect shape. And God, I have dreams of, whenever I have record store shopping dreams, it's always Car City Records. I didn't find anything in there but this, and there was a lot. I found this early, and I dug through everything. When my friends who brought me there, like, stand in the background, like, dude, there's never anything here. We just brought you here because we were driving by it. I'm like, well, I found this Metal Church record. I'm going to keep digging. They're right. There was nothing else. But you know what? God, Kurt Vanderhoof. What a riff, man. What a riff meister. That guy just wrote this Metal Church band. They don't really sound like anybody else. I've always appreciated that about them. They have their own kind of essence to them. And it all boils down to Kurt's guitar playing style and the way he writes riffs. I mean, I think he came out of the punk scene in California and moved to Seattle and wrote, started doing Metal Church. And It's a unique way of writing riffs. And the songs are also damn catchy. David Wayne on vocals, he was a very heavy, he was heavily into coke, but it's kind of like the Udo Dirkschneider vocal style, mixed with Bon Scott with his own extra oomph behind it. And his vocals were melodious but raspy, and it fit Metal Church perfectly, and the fact that these guys got lumped in to thrash, especially on The Dark. They've always been in a U.S. power metal band to me. We've gone over this a million times on the show, but the debut in particular, there's no thrash on this. It's just a wall of power. It's just a wall of power and great songs, great heavy metal songs. U.S. power metal, man, like Omen, like that style is. And those albums never get old. Those two albums are just timeless. They're perfect. As many millions of times I spun them when I was a kid on my cassette tapes, I put them on now, and now my kid likes it too. So it's like I get to relive that enthusiasm through my kid. and it still holds up so well. Great. It was a great road trip. We had a lot of fun listening to some killer metal records. So, Ed.
Yeah, and actually that very album there, that first one there at a shop in Bay City, Michigan, I found the original Ground Zero pressing of that.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, yeah.
Was it Electric Kish? Is that the record store?
Yeah, I had to think about that. That sounds about right. Yeah.
I've never been shopping there, but I had a friend that worked there for a while, and
yeah,
he's not a metalhead, but he always talks about it in his Facebook page. So
it's a decent shop. I found a couple things in there each time I've gone there.
Right on.
Electric Crown further down in Grand Blanc is a far better. That's a metal shop.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mike in there is really good. He's a good guy too. So good shop.
Need to get on that side of the state and do some digging. Apparently, there's always Grand Rapids for us because it's easy. 2-hour drive. We're in Grand Rapids.
Yeah. And then of course I remember Car City Records from the day too. Just I mean, wow, phenomenal.
There used to be a place in Detroit called the Pit Records, and it was all metal as well, metal and punk.
Yeah.
It was in like a strip mall. I was only there once. The guy was kind of scary that owned the place.
Okay.
Kind of scary. And yeah, I guess that place closed. The all metal record stores back in the day didn't live. There was one in Saginaw called Independent Underground, which was in Saginaw, Michigan, all metal. They had like import CDs and tapes and records under glass. It was cool. It looked like a boutique when you walked in, but it was all metal stuff. It was only in there once. They didn't last. They couldn't make it back then.
Yeah. Even Rock of Ages, which used to be a much more geared towards metal, just started getting out and into just whatever. And now it's the place now is more of a vape and gadgets and everything. The CDs are a mess.
Rock of Ages was cool. There was another place there close called Hot Hits. I remember going to that place too. Hot Hits and Rock of Ages.
So,
I don't know.
So anyone out there from Michigan, we just mentioned, 10 stores for Michigan here. So yeah.
Old stomping grounds. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah. How about another EP?
Right on.
This one up, the same thing. So just, enjoying a little Raven. 1991, 4 tracks on here on side A, 4 new songs. They might have been leftovers from Architect of Fear, but either way, there's still 4 good songs. And then they did 3 live ones on the B side. So these guys are coming to Hamtramck in April.
Huh.
So I'll be there checking that show out. So texted my buddy down there. I got a good friend of mine in St. Clair Shores. I'm like, there's a club in Hamtramck. He had no idea. Either way, we got tickets for it. So
cool.
So yeah, that'll be. There's another band opening for him. I don't even know who it is.
That's so cool. Raven's still out there doing it. I mean, talk about a band that never got fully embraced by anybody. They're just always really solid. And other than the Atlantic, there was a couple Atlantic era albums that were crap, but
yeah, Slackjaw is the band that's with them.
Huh.
I don't know anything about them. So at the Sanctuary in Detroit, Hamtramck, Michigan. So
that place is moving into a bigger venue. They're moving to a new location, bigger place here. I don't know if it's this year or it must be this year it's going to happen.
Which place?
Sanctuary. It's relocating to a bigger. They bought a church or something, and they're moving into that.
Well, there was a Sanctuary in Pontiac that used to be an old church, but then after that nightclub, that place changed and it turned into kind of like a cigar club, jazz club. That was in the 90s, though.
Right on.
So I don't know if it's the same outfit or not, but yeah.
It's
Maybe
cool.
This is the new one. Is this the new one, the Hamtramck one?
yeah, there's all the death metal shows and metal shows are going. Even some industrial shows are going through it. The Sanctuary.
Right.
I've had friends that have gone down. I haven't been to it yet. I typically don't. I've done my time in Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't have the ambition to drive 5 hours one way and have to stay the night. And yeah. Anyway, it's old man stuff. Anyway, Alan.
All right, let's see. I'd always wanted to check this album out. Ordered it a few months ago. It's not bad, but I feel like I'm a little disappointed. I'd heard there some demo stuff or some old live stuff, and it was really solid. So I was like, yeah, sure, the album must be good too. The album's okay. We are talking about Slayer's, we were talking about Australia's answer to Slayer, better known as Hobbs Angel of Death.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good album.
It's not a bad album, but I feel like it's a little plain or a little more reined in than I was expecting. Some of the guys over in the Australian VCLT sent me some CDRs last year, I think it was, and included some of the Hobbs material from like a year before this. Off the top of my head, I'm forgetting if it was a demo or a live recording. They sent me a lot of cool stuff, but some of it was demos, some of it was live. And right away, I was like, oh, wow, that's really good. They even sent me some of the pre-Hobbs material, which I think was a project called Tyrus. And that was really good. So I had put it in the back of my head that when I get a chance, I'll definitely pick up that Hobbs album because I never had heard it. Picked it up, heard it. And yeah, it's not that it's bad. It just feels a little plainer than I was expecting it to. It's like, yeah, this sounds like a band influenced by Slayer, but it just doesn't quite have the fireworks to it that I was expecting. And maybe that's just the difference between hearing like a raw demo or a raw live performance and then trying to compare that to a studio product. Not sure. I'll certainly play it some more and give it another chance. There's nothing wrong with the songs or anything. It's just that it didn't really have the expected punch to it more at the end of the day. So yeah, right now it's a little bit on the disappointing side, but we haven't given up hope on it.
Right on.
All right. Well, around Christmas time, I was introduced to Whatnot, and I went nuts. I must have bought 40 things on there. And a lot of my kids' Christmas was bought via Whatnot, but I found a couple metal sellers on there, and one guy was selling this CD for $5. Virtuosity, Secret Visions. This is a Finnish power metal band. What year did this come out? Yep. Why would you put the date on the back? 2001. So this has been around for a while on Spine Farm Records.
Sounds like Mark's also been bitten by the Whatnot bug.
You know what? The Whatnot thing wouldn't be so bad if sellers were quick. You know, some of them are. They're quick and they keep things moving, but there's some that just dawdle. They're not set up and you're like sitting there waiting for what's coming next. And it's the anticipation of what could be next is what holds you there. And I'm off of it for now. It's a live auction type of service. eBay is so popular that eBay's doing it now. You're doing like auctions live. There's like a guy like, oh, this CD, or they're just, setting them out and saying $3 starting, and you swipe to bid, and it's addictive. It's like anything
a little bit like
else.
a weird home shopping network, but just first come, first serve.
Yeah. So the guy said Finnish power metal. I'm like, well, $5. Finnish metal is usually pretty killer and different. So I snagged this for $5, and it's pretty good. It gets better as the album goes. You need to get past the first 3 songs. It seems like the drums, I've only listened to this once, but it seemed like the drums were a little too synthetic sounding, and the music was just kind of blah. But like I said, about track number 4, Crucified and Speed of Light, the songs start getting more energetic and lively. The guitar work is really good. It's just the drums are a little too sterile. In fact, it might be a drum machine. I don't remember. Nope, there's a drummer there's a guy listed as a drummer, but it's worth checking out if you're a power metal completist. And like I said, I get hooked into these genre explorations, and yeah, I've got all the popular stuff, but I want to start hearing, other more obscure, and I think Virtuosity kind of fits the obscure power metal classification for sure. And it's on Spine. I didn't realize Spine Farm even messed with power metal, so it was interesting to check out. I don't love it, I don't hate it, but it's I've never heard anybody talk about it online, so there it is. Virtuosity.
For $5 you take a chance.
$5 you swing. Sometimes you hit a homer, sometimes you strike out, but it is getting on. Should we make this one or two more rounds here and call it?
This should probably be our last one, because it'll be after midnight by the time we get through this round.
So you want to show a couple, Ed? Last call, and now's your time.
Last call. Yeah. Well, this one is a comp.
Classic. God, I grew up on that thing. That was great.
Bean Kills. This is volume 2.
Yep. This is volume 2. I've got 1, 2, and 3, and I'm working on the other 3. I don't need the 7th one but I want the ones from the day.
Sure.
All these classic bands on here. Agent Steel, Razor, Bathory, Halloween, Living Death, Sodom, Whiplash, Iron Angel, Destructor, Onslaught, Brain Fever, which is the only one I didn't know, and then Anthrax. So just some really,
it's a great comp.
Excellent comps, and they all of them put a little thing in there, obviously some pictures of the bands, and then there's always some write-ups on. Hard to read because it's a yellowish on red.
Never works. Yeah.
Very small too, so it's I tried reading it, listening to the song, but it's so small that you're into the next song and you're still reading one of the long.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, these are excellent. I can't wait to get the 4th, 5th, and 6th one. So, but yeah, got 3 of them. Had one forever, and then recently picked these up. Stumbled them across 2 and 3 on a Discogs seller. Brand new, sealed.
Wow.
Very cool.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, they always did a good job of picking tracks for that comp series. A lot of comps can, of course, be very hit and miss, but the song quality is much higher on the Speed Kills volumes.
And sometimes they put special versions, a special remix or stuff like that on them. So, So yeah, excellent ones.
All right, Alan.
All right, for my last one, sometime, I'd have to check. Maybe November, December timeframe. I took a couple of weeks and kind of slowly worked my way back through this band's discography. And Marty, we've had a few requests to tackle this band one night. It's not a very big discography, so we can probably work it in one day. Is the Chasm. And
that's my favorite Chasm album right there.
After this last go through their discography, it is officially my favorite Chasm album.
It's great.
For now, anyway. I like pretty much everything in their catalog. They're a fantastic band. We've mentioned them many a time.
Great live. Holy shit. They're just devastating live back in the day. Anyway, I hadn't seen any of the newer. Anyway.
Let's see. And this one is, the 4th album, Procession to the Infraworld. It was one of the albums that was a little more readily available. The 3 before this, when they first came out, I don't think had much distribution. But this one you could start to find in some chain stores. So, I think this is the jumping on point for a lot of folks. It was my jumping on point. I had heard the band name before, but hadn't been able to track anything down. Found this one in some kind of record bar, Camelot type store back in the day. And have been a fan of the band ever since. But yes, I really enjoyed going back through the Chasm's discography. It had been several years since I had played most of those records, and getting to kind of take my time, play them back to back, but slowly getting a few spins each. You can pick up more of the nuances of here's where they started doing this thing a little bit different. And that was the last time they really incorporated the more death doom sounds that I tend to think of them as having, lots of those doomy, gloomy moments, but they did phase those out over time on some albums. Some albums have more, some albums have less. So yeah, it'd probably be a good one. We could just make it like a Daniel Corchado project night, add in some cenotaph and one incantation album, and it'd still be a pretty reasonable topic, I think, for a Friday night sometime in the future. But yeah, Procession to the Infraworld, my current favorite in a very, very strong catalog from the Chasm.
Hell yeah. All right. I'm just going to rip through a couple here.
Go for it.
Recently went with my kid to Cadillac to get tickets for the Overkill Destruction show coming through.
Very cool.
And hit the record store there, GT Vinyl.
Yeah.
Pretty unremarkable shop. But in downtown, there's a pawn shop, and they have quite a few CDs there. And I got Megadeth's Cryptic Writings for $2.
Oh, no kidding.
And this is the first time I've actually sat and listened to this whole album, and it's not Dave's best work. I do like Trust. I do like The Disintegrators. I think She-Wolf is a good song, and the last song, FFF, is an energetic closer. So there's like 4 songs on here that are like, pretty solid middle era Megadeth. The rest of it is just really weak sauce. But $2, I'm not going to let it sit there. Another band I'm trying to fill in the catalog on when the mood strikes is Ministry. And I just recently got a 4 CD lot off of eBay for like $20. This is Rio Grande Blood. And I was really surprised how good this is. I somehow missed it back when it came out. And I think it's Mike on guitars. Again, I don't remember. Mike Scaccia from Rigor Mortis. I'm trying to find it because he was in and out a couple times in the band. It sounds like him because the guitar playing is so precise. The speed, palm muted speed picking, super tight on here. And even though this is largely a metal-ish record, Al doesn't, there's a lot of studio tricks that he employs to give it that electronic industrial vibe. Some of the programming is very interesting. Like I said, his studio tricks remind you of where Ministry came from. So this fits right up there with Mine's a Terrible Thing to Taste for me. It's got that good aggression to it. Really well written. I do like the electronic nature of it. Surprisingly good. I haven't listened to the other ones yet. And another one we listened to on the ride up to Petoskey was, of course, Walls of Jericho.
Oh, yeah.
So, this is it's speed metal royalty as far as I'm concerned. And
absolutely.
Yeah, this is the one I dug out of the bin at Camelot Music back in the day, the same pressing. So, absolute love for this and never gets old. Ride the Sky. Probably one of the best metal songs really ever. And we were listening to the streaming in the car. So it was, you've got the EP tagged on as well and Judas as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the golden, really the golden era. What an amazing start for an amazing band. So there's some other shit, but we'll save it for another time.
Okay.
That's it. Ed, it was amazing having you on, man. Great.
Thanks for having me. Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Thank you for taking the time to do it with us tonight. Appreciate it.
We'll get you on again one of these times with Darcy or maybe Jurgen. We'll do something a little more labor intensive than just showing what we've been spinning. But I figured this was a good start, and none of us really had to do much prep for this one other than harvest the stuff. But do you have anything on your channel coming up you want to tell people about?
I am working on something there. It's gonna be a 10 or an 11 episode thing, but I got to get it on so I can just try to get them set up so that every Friday it drops. So
right on. Alan, how about you? Let's Talk Metal Tuesday. What's going on over that way?
That's a good question. I'm checking on that actually because I loaded something because I knew this week would be a mess. So I loaded something ahead of time. But what did I put up for this coming Tuesday? We'll find out in just a moment. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this is funny. It actually ties into something you mentioned earlier, Marty, with the Headhunter reference where Ed showed Headhunter and you were thinking, wait, is it that headhunter? No, it's a different headhunter. I've been having that happen to me a few times lately, looking up some bands on Metal Archives where I'm like, I'm trying to find information about this band. Oh, and you have to click like, no, not that one. No, not that one. So yeah, the video focuses on going through Metal Archives, typing in some famous band names and realizing there's more than just one band that used that particular name, and seeing what some of the other not so famous bands with famous names actually have in their catalog.
Cool. Fun.
I'm a nerd. It's okay.
Perfect.
Actually, the only way I found that Headhunter record was I had to search the catalog number because Headhunter brought up.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
All right. Well, that's it, everybody. Some show notes for us here. There's a Logan review coming for the new Exhumed.
Oh, thanks, Mark. I appreciate that.
Alan's got another review that I have to edit this weekend as well. And I am supposed to shoot a review. I should have done it this week, but I've been busy for the new Cryptic Shift, which that album is bonkers, nuts. We'll get into it. But
folks been talking about it a bit on the chat tonight.
Yeah, it's craziness. And Wednesday night album club, I don't remember offhand what was picked. Logan
Whose
picked
turn
it.
was it?
Oh, Eternal Champion. The first Eternal Champion album.
He threatened to do that and was good to his threat. Carried through.
So join us for that. We'll be around for you folks. Ed, don't hang up. We'll chat for a minute afterwards. And everybody, thank you so much for all the super chats. If you're new here, like I said, like and subscribe. We appreciate you joining us. And of course, everybody, you make the chat. You make Friday fun. So, and sometimes it's fun to have fun, right? Okay. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Okay. See everyone later.
Sometimes we have to make our own fun.